We
That's,
should have
Dad.
we should have like with those fucking weird Yeti polar bears. We should have reenacted the one scene on Hoth from Star Wars or something.
oh my gosh. See, the problem though
I
is
gotta
I
love
don't
these
know
things.
enough about general scenes of Star Wars to recreate that.
Basically, as far as I can remember, fucking Han Solo or whichever motherfucker open like he finds he's on Hoth.
Luke Solo, Han Skywalker.
They're on the ice planet Hoth, and they find some fucking weird walking creature. And he decides to slice it open and like sleep in it for warmth or something.
Yeah, but I think that's like too dark for everybody except for Lashana.
It's funny though because like he said something like
okay. I think Nigel would be cool with that, but everyone else wouldn't. Athena would just she doesn't she's too good for that. She needs a bed.
Dacius couldn't really object.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Oh yes, speaking of, he's still fucked.
Yeah, but if you do remember what was it Lorenzo or Curtis?
Yeah, the fucking hot springs.
Yeah, the healing hot springs, which there's hot springs in a snowy mountain. Ain't that something?
Yeah. Fucking weird. It's like the bottom of the fucking sea. You're gonna find some black smokers.
Alright, so I think it's time that we continue.
Yes.
So we will cut back to Gander and Lashana first. Specifically because I'm going to be honest, I don't think it's going to be as interesting. So we cut back to Gander and Lashana, and also Nigel, who has decided he's going to take a nap.
Okay, what happened after I left yesterday?
I don't think it's anything that your character would know.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty much what happened was Athena was really trying to strong arm Dacius, and then they woke up the dwarves, and we found out that the one that didn't have a beard wasn't a dwarf, he was a gnome. But the dwarf knew who Dacius was, because they were old bar buddies, and yeah, pretty much they were leading Dacius inside, and Athena didn't want to go inside because she didn't want to just walk in like that because kind of dreading going in there because he knows that Shiva is inside. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
Okay.
So Nigel decided to take a nap, and Snow is slowly but surely filling his mouth as he's sleeping. So like he will begin to choke eventually. So they're continuing on their sled that is just rocketing up the side of this mountain. And what is Lashana doing?
Oh, Lashana's just having a good old time.
So Lashana, she's got her arms up in the air. I see her just having them kind of fly back in the wind.
Yeah.
God.
Like she's having so much fun.
And Gander, he's looking
Definitely.
about at how fast
Check,
the
Mike,
sled's going.
Check.
So, what's your name? Oh, you all can call me Lane. Ah, here we are. And the sled eventually comes to a stop, and as they look at what is in front of them, they see it's a very large wooden cottage.
cottage.
Alright then.
And Lane gets off of the sled. Yeah, you can warm up a little bit. They also have some items if you need to stock up.
Man.
So so just to help everyone remember, because Athena asked Ishtar to find an item shop,
Damn it.
and we were super close to an item shop. So there we go.
Bruh.
I guess he wasn't wrong, but I mean, then I have to sit down and think, like, he fucking found that.
Yeah.
I mean,
God.
we don't know where Ishtar's been, man.
Yeah, we're also probably not gonna know where he is here soon. Cause, you know, the crew that was with him just sort of fucking dipped.
I mean, you know, he's loyal.
Yeah, you wouldn't do anything like that.
Oh, me?
That's really
Take away, take
How many times are we gonna have this joke where it's like, oh, you know, you wouldn't do something absolutely fucking awful?
Yeah, me? No. What? No. All our characters are gonna have a fun time. No confrontations are going to happen whatsoever.
Yeah. Nothing's gonna fucking ruin this literal holiday vacation.
Nope. Nothing. So Gander gets off of the sled. Does LaShawn leave the sled?
Yes.
All right. So she gets off.
Nothing at all.
Gander looks back at Nigel. Should we carry him inside or? Does Lashana want to help carry him inside, or just leave him there?
Leave him.
Okay. So Lashana says that, and I'm just like turns around and begins walking inside. All right.
God, he's gonna fucking die again or something.
And
In the most anticlimactic way.
Gander looks back at Nigel. He'll be fine. He's a nice dragon. He'll be all right. So he goes inside, and as they go inside, they do see it. It's a very cozy little like shop area. There's a fireplace in the middle. There's a good bit of items stacked up all around, and they see a gnome behind the counter. Oh, why, hello there. Welcome to the Garnell shop.
God,
Hello.
oh.
And so do you want to buy anything, or do you want Gander to buy anything for you because you don't have any money?
Gander has money? Holy shit.
Yeah, he does actually.
Oh my god. There are two whole people that have money.
Or does Lashana want to try to steal some money from Gander?
No, Lashana just wants to make Gander buy it.
Okay. All right.
There you go.
What would you like? What would you like? Just think of like a general thing you would like.
I want tacos.
Antimatter rifle.
Okay, a general medieval thing that you would like.
There is no evidence to suggest that they did not have tacos.
What? Fair. Unfortunately, tacos are not an item I can pay for in the app. So sadly, we'll have to wait on our side quest where we have to find ingredients for this new food some chef's trying to make.
We have to rescue We have to rescue the Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkins and Donuts.
Dunkins and Dragons and donuts.
Yes.
No, Dukes and donuts. There we go.
Yes.
Dukes and donuts.
Dukes and donuts.
That's what the episode will be called.
Dukes and donuts.
The episode in the anime adaptation of the manga or whatever.
The anime.
wait. The McDonald's would be called like McDukes or like
McDukes. Yes, McDukes. I love it.
or
McDukes.
like McDukes.
Well, welcome to me. Their mascot is the Duke, but with the big Ronald McDonald afro.
Oh my!
Duke Ronald.
The fucking Happy Meal comes with like a fucking shiv or dagger or something.
Yeah. Oh,
It's a little toy flail.
yeah.
The little executioner set complete with a decapitatable figurine.
That's that's amazing.
Dairy.
You know, I really, I mean, Dairy Queen could pretty much just stay Dairy Queen. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Actually,
that
yeah,
works.
same with Burger
And so could Burger King.
yeah, burger. Yeah, there we go. I'm very tempted to add some of these in. I'm inching ever closer.
God, we're gonna buy a fucking sedan and go up to the McDuke's drive-through. That's where the rune magic is gonna come in. And, like instead of having like a speaker thing, they just have this pole covered in runes that communicates to you telepathically.
Welcome to McDukes.
Yes, I'd like the number. The number.
Alright, I'll bring that right up for you.
It's gonna the Mind Flayers McDonald's.
That'll be 1 gold, please.
That'll be. Please.
Oh, you do that really good.
That'll be 10 souls of. That'll be 10 damned souls, please.
Nah, that's the that's at nighttime. That's only at nighttime.
Yeah, that's
That's-
that's for the things on the dinner menu.
Yeah, that's when the necromancers
Anyways,
come out to work. Yeah. Anyways, so like what does Lashana want? We got some vials of things.
oh god, got some meth.
I want
Maybe.
a vial of something.
A
I don't
vial
care
of something.
what.
Okay.
The
So,
mystery potion.
So Lashana looks over at there's a whole bunch of bottles sitting up, and they all have different different colored liquids in them that she is unfamiliar with. Of course, there's some green, which she can assume is poison.
I want that one.
Well, there's also purple, which she assumes could also maybe be poison.
There's yellow, which could technically be poison. I mean, you never
I want
know.
all of it.
All of it. Lashana grabs like all the bottles off of the shelf and walks over to Gander. What are you doing with all those?
God.
I just want Lashana to just say, buy it.
Buy it for me.
How much does that cost?
How am I supposed to know? That's your problem.
What? Lashana places the bottles on the counter. and then the gnome, he's taking out a piece of paper and he's looking through. Yes, that will be approximately 235 gold. Gander, he's just frozen. I just Lashana like looks over at him, looks over at the stuff like, well, go on, buy it.
God.
Alright, he told you how much it was. Now, give him the money.
Gander's just frozen. Cut back. Let's cut away from the shopping adventures to back to Dacius and Athena real fast. So Dacius has just entered the Ice Palace. And as he looks around, it does seem oddly familiar. He sees the floor it's almost like not ice, but glass. It looks like he can see the snow that would be on the very top of the mountain under his feet. But it's covered by a see-through floor. And he looks around and he sees all kinds of gnomes and dwarves all walking around. They all seem very friendly. And he's looking over and he sees the thing he wants to go to very soon, which is the bar. It also has the magic sign, like the Griffin's Nest had.
Yeah.
That does just say in big letters bar.
God. Holy. This place is amazing.
Aye. It's a very nice place to live. And it's all thanks to Shiva.
Yeah, she sounds like a pretty nice lady.
Oh, she's very nice.
Man.
And they lead Dacius in, and Athena comes in as well. But what is her reaction to all of this?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Fritz just grumbling. Yeah, I guess it's beautiful.
What are you saying, mister?
Oh, nothing. I just... It looks fine, I guess.
Fine, you guess. I dare you to build a livable place full of fire.
Bunch of mortals made it, I bet.
Excuse me, I am a mortal, and I guarantee the Ice Princess made it.
Oh, yeah, sure, for the mortals.
Yes, for the mortals. I dare you to make a fire thing for mortals. Fire castle
I
that's
would
livable
never
for
make
mortals.
anything for mortals.
You're living in a mortal,
This wasn't my choice.
and okay, that's. But you're stuck with it.
I know, and I have the right to complain.
If you don't stop complaining, shut up.
By the way, like, people are staring at Athena because to them, they're seeing her yell down at her chest. Just these random things.
Oh, if you're causing a scene.
Well, you didn't have to respond.
And you didn't have to mouth off.
And and as she looks around and she's trying to have kind of like a "oh, don't mind me" look on her face, she realizes that she has lost sight of Dacius.
Holy fuck.
It just screams at the top of her. She can hear as I'm imagining Athena is like running around like in a small area screaming that, and then these dwarves and the gnomes, they're, oh, who let her in? I don't know, but do you think we should get her thrown out? She seems insane.
Then Athena like just remembers her dignity and straightens up and just purposely walks forward
Just
to the bar.
Oh, to the bar. Okay. And while she goes to the bar, Curtis and Lorenzo take Dacius to. It's like a big doorway. There's no door, but it's a big doorway. It's a very nice hallway with the walls are made of the thick ice, but due to the ice, how thick it is, it has a light shade of blue coloring to it. It's very peaceful.
Man. It's nice to not see constant chaos all the time, you know?
You must have been through a lot, I assume.
You could say that.
Don't died.
Well, here we are. And Lorenzo stretches his hand out, and it shows the healing hot springs. And they most certainly are hot springs. Dacius can see the steam coming out.
Is there anything I need to do to like
Just jump on in.
all right.
And Daisy well, because he can't really jump, so like Lorenzo and Curtis kind of look at him, waiting for him to jump, and then they realize, oh yeah, he can't.
No.
So then they kind of just toss him in, and as he lands, the heat does course through his body, but unlike Ifrit's horrible flame, it doesn't hurt. It soothes him. He can feel his bones, or lack thereof, reforming.
Oh my god, I can feel my digits. Holy.
You see, this mountain actually has a healing spring under it. This is why Shiva decided to preserve it.
Man, I can definitely see why. Holy.
However, she did freeze the rest of the mountain, which is quite impressive if you consider the fact that, well, this hot spring was the only thing in this mountain at that time.
Wow.
Really, Colton? What?
Man,
Really?
you don't often see Celestials really getting into the mortal realm, but this, man. I mean, aside from coming around and fucking around a bit, but you know.
Shiva is one of the more accepting Celestials. At least from what she tells us. We haven't actually met any of her other brethren.
Well,
Right.
I have.
Though, as I always say, even the most cruel of gents can wind down with a good mug of beer.
Yeah, man.
No. HP.
Where's Athena?
And they're looking around. You mean that girl who was with you?
Oh, good lord. So, yeah, I hope that Shiva lady is really accepting.
And as he says this, let's cut back to Athena. So she walks over to the bar, and she does see a lot of people in there. She sees, of course, more dwarves and elves, and one fairly, like, for a dwarf, he is pretty tall, who seems to be the bartender.
Athena wants to go up and order something.
Oh,
Okay. So the dwarf is he's rubbing or he's wiping a glass right now, but he does see Athena walk up, and he doesn't speak to her, but he does look at her like he's anticipating her to order something.
Just Just give me something. Just something.
Yeah. He bends down, and like it's weird because like when he bent down, he was still polishing that mug, but he does bring out a new mug, and it is full of it's got like a brown liquid in it, and a very frothy top to it. Like she's
How
never
much?
seen, and he doesn't say anything. He just continues to wipe the other mug.
Athena just starts drinking it.
Athena's gonna go on a drinking trip. Jesus Christ.
I will have you roll a Constitution check.
I'll
Jasmine,
roll
will you
for
roll
it. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Oh wow. Okay.
What'd you roll?
A 7.
Oh no.
Wait, what? You didn't roll a 7?
What? Yeah, I did.
Oh, sorry. I didn't scroll. Like, I when I went into the channel, I thought, like, it was already at the bottom, but I had to scroll down. Yeah, okay, yeah, you did roll 7. So, she begins drinking it, and has he actually had any of the alcohol, like, in the sessions yet?
No.
Okay.
No, but she has had some back at the castle.
It's probably just like light wine though, or mead or whatever.
Yeah, like some like expensive wine or some mead.
So, as she drinks it, she does feel a little more lightheaded than usual. We'll put it like that. But she still seems to be in control at the moment.
She wants to drink all of it and order another one.
Okay. She drinks all of it. Does she say she wants another one, or does she just gesture for another one?
She just bats her eyelashes and says, "May I please have another one?"
He gets another one and places it down. Can you roll another Constitution check, please?
Oh, good lord. Oh.
Ah, yes! It's
No,
waiting for.
You got a 1.
Athena begins drinking the other one, and she gulps that one down, and her face is flushed red. She her mind's getting pretty hazy right now.
She wants to leave. She wants to just drop a piece of gold on the thing and just walk out and just start walking somewhere.
that might be a bit of a challenge, the whole walking bit.
Okay, so she takes out a piece of gold. Hang on, I gotta take out the. Okay, so she places one piece of gold, and she gets up and she tries to walk away. Yes, I will. Oh, would it be Constitution? Or no, I guess it would maybe be more dexterity. Let's see her dexterity if she's able to walk out.
Ah, damn.
I know. Okay, so she is like fairly wobbly as she walks, but she is able to leave. However, right before she gets to the door, something does grab her by the shoulder, but she doesn't notice it first. She tries to walk until she realizes she's not going anywhere. and she sees that it is the bartender. And he takes out a piece of paper, and it has the prices of everything listed, and he points to what she got, and it says it was 25 gold. So for one.
And she got 2.
Bruh.
So
What did you think they were gonna give you two of those for like 1 gold?
It's Athena.
yeah, it's also drunk Athena, so
Oh god, you're gonna have
Any-
to roll like dexterity to count the money or something.
well, okay, here's the question. Does she pay him?
Oh
or
god.
does she try to to run away? She has both
Okay, yeah.
options, and I honestly think the second one would be more, since she's very drunk right now.
She wants to turn to someone else. Will you pay for it, pretty please?
Oh my god,
God.
that's even more fitting.
Yeah, that's even
yes,
worse.
it is. Charisma, please.
Oh
That's,
god.
that's even
Please
worse, to
have
be
a
honest.
20.
Okay, it's a
Okay.
10.
Okay, it is a 10.
I have high charisma.
Yes, but
No!
your drunkenness does lower your modifiers.
Oh my god, dude.
So the others turn and look at her, and then they just begin laughing, and one dwarf near the back. You think that you can just come here to the Garnell bar and not
Yes.
pay your tab?
That's a problem.
Oh
Even
my
us dwarves
god.
know
A
you
very big
always pay your
problem.
tab.
Yes.
Athena wants to hand over 25 gold.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Go
She
ahead.
takes out 25 gold, and she and the bartender takes it out of her hands. However, she's still not letting go.
Yeah, because
She-
you got 2 of the drinks.
I know. She hands 24 gold.
Oh, okay, 24 more.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
she already did
Yeah,
give him 1.
yeah. Okay. So then. Okay.
I did not. No.
Okay. So
Right.
then he's still not letting her go. He knows how much it's worth. He's not letting her go. So she's given over 49 gold. What does she want to do?
Just give him one more piece of gold.
Okay. She hands over one last one, and he finally lets go. However, because of this, she could not get her balance back, and she does stumble.
God. I was worried she was gonna try and start a fucking bar fight or something.
I was too, honestly. I was.
Oh,
Di-
Athena's not done.
Oh, okay. Let's continue then. What does she do now?
Athena wants to go back over, and she wants to ask for the paper.
Oh.
Oh, okay. I have a feeling I know what's coming. So she does. So I guess ask for it.
I want the paper, please.
The bartender. He doesn't see anything wrong. So he does pull out the paper.
She wants to ask for food.
Oh, okay.
It's Athena. She asks for the
Wow,
paper and then she wants to
drunk.
ask for food. But she wants to fold the paper up and put it in her pocket.
Oh, so wait, does she actually ask for food, or does
She
she?
folds the paper up and puts it.
Okay, but does she actually ask for food? That's what I'm saying, or does she just say, "I want some food,"
I
and
want
she
some
folds it
food.
up?
While she's folding it, she says, "I want food. Where's a place for cheap food? I'm broke."
Uh, the bartender looks at the dwarves. The gnomes, they're looking, but they don't seem like they're willing to do anything. But all the dwarves around, bartender looks at them, nods, then they nod as well, and they all get up, and they all
Oh no.
they all surround Athena. Lass,
Yeah?
you can't eat for free.
No, I know. No free food.
Then what are you willing to pay?
Free food? Food?
the dwarves lift her up, and they're about to throw her out of the bar, literally.
Bye-bye.
So Dacius does at this moment. Him, Curtis, and Lorenzo come out of the hallway from the hot springs, and Dacius does see them about to throw Athena.
Bye-bye.
He just stands there
Ant-Man!
Hey,
and
guess
face
what?
palms.
Ant-Man!
Guess
Huh?
what, Corey?
What?
I may not get tacos in the game, but I get tacos in actuality.
Well then, that is good for you.
Mr. Ant-Man! Ant-Man! Uncle Ant-Man!
Oh my gosh. What's Daisy like? What's his face right now? Is it a face of
He's-
anguish?
He just looks really fucking like it's kind of a mixture between mad and confused.
Does he
Uncle Ant-Man!
does he respond?
No.
He's the one over there! He had broken bones!
That's him.
That's Odysseus!
And then, okay, so she does say Dacius.
That's
the- Then one of the dwarves, he does like lift his head out of the crowd. His beard is gray, and they can tell he's definitely much older than all the others.
Athena wants to try to tap him.
Hold on 1 second. Did she just say Dacius?
Dacius, the Ant-Man! Bobby!
What the fuck?
Hi, Bobby. You should come
He-
give me a hug.
And then the old dwarf walks out. He sees,
Hi, Graybeard.
by the gods, he truly has returned.
He has no memory. I have Ifrit.
I think Dacius, his expression went to anger and annoyance. Now he has the dreaded expression. He is feeling the despair.
Ah, fuck.
Let's cut back to Lashana and Gander.
Okay, I'll be right back.
So is Lashana still trying to get Gander to buy all that stuff?
Obviously.
Gander, he's still frozen, and Lane, he's kind of like waving his hands in front of Gander's face. Is the lad gonna be all right?
He will be if he pays for my stuff.
Hmm.
God.
Why? And then Lane opens up Gander's money pouch thing. Why? He only has 75 gold. Core blimey, he can't even buy it if he wanted to.
God.
And then Gander finally he snaps out of it. That's what I've been trying to say. Did it not come out? Did it not? Listen, Lashawna, I can't buy all that. I don't have that much money.
That sounds like a you problem.
Well, what do you want us to do?
Figure out a way to get my stuff.
Sir, is there some way she can have all of this, preferably for free? But I don't think that's possible. Well, I have been meaning to deliver a few things up to the palace. So, I suppose if you could deliver them all, I think I could allow you to have all of this. Oh, all right. We've done delivery jobs before. This shouldn't be that bad. Forgetting all the stuff that happened during that delivery job.
Yeah. God.
So, there's where are the things we need to deliver? And the gnome walks out from behind the counter, and he starts walking outside. Oh, they're out here. And as they follow him outside, they see another of those snow creatures. It's a very large one, and he's sitting with a bunch of bags kind of strapped onto him. He's sitting right behind the cottage. How did we not notice that?
We're stupid. I thought that was obvious.
Gander doesn't comment. Well, you see, this big guy, he needs to go see Shiva. And, well, she also needs some of these items. So, if you could deliver them all, that would be great. Aye. Have you all ever rode a Yeti before? No. Well, there's a first time for everything. Come on, then. Yeah, he leaps up on to the Yeti's back, and the Yeti does seem very kind of a very docile creature. Its eyes kind of look far apart from each other. It's not hurting anything.
God.
Well, I guess we climb on up.
Good lord.
What should we do about Nigel? And
Just leave them.
The shop owner. I got it. He goes back into the shop and he takes out some ropes, and he ropes the sled to the back of the Yeti, and he ties Nigel onto the sled, whose mouth, by the way, is almost full, to the brim with snow.
Let's hope he knows how to breathe through his nose.
It doesn't sound like he's breathing, but that doesn't mean he's not.
God, he's gonna
The-
be fucking killed off by snow.
So, Gander,
The second time he died.
he's just gonna appear again with the observer. He's gonna be like, "Oh, hey, welcome back. I didn't think you'd die a second time." He's like, "Yeah, well, I didn't either." Dragon Daniels, please. Anyway, so Gander climbs up on top of the Yeti. Does Lashana?
She said she'd be right back.
Oh, okay. All right. So, I'll just say yes. She did. She climbed up, and Lane handed both of them the reins. Oh, we don't really know how to ride any of these, so I think it would be better if you could ride it. Oh, nonsense! There's always time to learn new things. Now then, he like takes part of the rein and like whips it, and then the Yeti just begins to trudge along, and Gander's like, "Oh, we're doing this, okay." Cut back to Dacius and Athena's situation. So what happened in between cuts? Dacius and Athena, who is she's walking alongside him, but barely standing up, while just like an army of dwarves and also gnomes follow behind them, and they're leading them down the palace.
Athena, what the fuck?
Athena wants to go into the landmine. The mine void.
Okay, she goes into the mind space, and she sees Ifrit, who he's not looking too good.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
What do you mean, what's wrong with me? You know how I can't.
Why do
Our
you look
bodies
so
are connected.
God.
Oh.
Oh
I like feeling this way.
my god.
Athena
too.
wants to say aloud, now I understand these days.
What?
Wait, you cut out. I couldn't hear.
Now I understand these days.
Okay.
What do you mean? Never mind. Just shut up.
And the dwarves led them to a
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
yes, but you did cut out, at least for me, again halfway
Yes.
through that, but it was still clear. So they lead them to a large doorway, a very large one, but again, no door. There are two fairly heavily armored dwarf guards. Their armor appears to be also made out of ice. And the gray bearded one walks up. These two have business with Shiva. And the guards immediately step aside.
Oh. Wow, I wasn't expecting this would be how I'd meet the Celestial.
I want a hug.
You're not getting one.
that was perfect timing.
Stacy is.
Stop. Stop.
And
This is my dad.
and as she is starting to cry, they are in the room. And the room it's a decent size. It's not like overly big like Vladimir's room was. It is bigger than normal, and in the far back in the middle, there appears to be a pool, a large pool.
Let's go swimming.
No.
Yes,
No.
Dad.
What?
And the dwarf walks up. Shiva, we have
Mom.
brought you Dacius. And the pool, like the water in the center, begins to ripple until out from it appears a creature. It does look fairly humanoid-esque. However, her skin is pure white. Her hair is blue like water. And she mostly resembles a mermaid.
Mermaid.
And if you remember, Audrey, Athena has seen this person before.
I know.
Ah, yes. Athena wants to like in a daze walk over and try to get into the water.
Oh my.
So Athena's walking over, and the spirit who they assume, like Shiva, they know this is Shiva. It clearly has to be. She opens her eyes, and her eyes, like her irises, also at this moment are a pure white, which does make her glare seem a lot more menacing. And as she looks down at Dacius, what's Dacius? What's Dacius's thoughts at the moment?
Why was this person looking for me?
And she glares down, and her eyes sort of squint as she's looking, and then the intimidating look almost immediately melts away as her eyes light up, and she flies over and hugs Dacius, swinging him around. Dacius, it's been so long.
What?
She is like, she has a huge smile on her face, and
Dacius, he cut down all those trees and burned. Uh-oh. There's damage.
What? What is happening?
and
Athena wants to take it back. Hi.
she puts Dacius down. She appears to be like waiting for something.
What just happened?
And no love for your fiancé? You're going to break my heart.
Fiance?
and all the dwarves. Fiancé? And then like none of the gnomes speak up except for Lorenzo, who just goes, "Oh dear."
Wait, what? What?
I can't tell if that's Athena doing that or if that's actually you doing that, Audrey.
That's me! My theory was kind of off. It was close, but not. Wow.
I can certainly tell you, Gavin didn't plan for that.
I mean, I didn't even at first know you were going to go with it. So I mean, You know,
Hey, I will say you asked about the idea of a
I did.
love interest,
I did.
and I was like, oh, this is perfect. Anyway, and as she said that, she kind of like over dramatically put her hand on the top of her head as if she was going to faint. And she's waiting, and
Oh
then
no,
she
no.
opens one of
Dacius
her
lost his
eyes.
memory.
And so did Athena actually say that? I don't know. I don't know if she said that because you said she was drunkenly trying to walk over to the pool. So,
Hello?
Audrey? Audrey.
We'll
We lost her.
we'll say she said that and fell over or something.
Okay, yeah, she said that and like kind of flopped
My
onto
thing-
the floor.
No, my thing keeps cutting in and out.
Okay, well, you're alive now. Did Athena actually say that?
Yes.
Please.
Okay.
Yes.
She actually said that, and then she flopped onto the floor.
Oh, but Athena wanted to get in the water.
And then Shiva opens one of her eyes, and then gets out of her dramatic pose, and she begins like flying around Dacius. Lost your memory? How'd you do that? Did Margaret do some sort of amnesia rune magic on you? I swear.
What? What the
And as he hears the name Margaret, can you roll a wisdom check?
Oh, yeah.
Mario!
Oh.
And as he hears
As
this
he
name,
finds out.
the image of the silver-haired girl goes through his mind, and he finally knows that whoever this girl is, her name is Margaret.
Never trust a witch.
What?
I recognize that.
Well, you
Don't know where.
should. I mean, you two were traveling together for what, a year?
I mean, I think I've known her. I don't know.
How much of your memory did you lose? Don't tell me. You forgot already. She's over. She makes another like overly dramatic pose. Like her eyes look like she's about to cry. What the Hunter, that was the most unfitting music. So
Okay, hold on.
Never trust a witch.
yeah, it was Audrey. It was Audrey. She's thinking that one of her theories is correct, even though it has not. Are you okay?
No!
I'm just gonna say those are the noises Athena's making on the floor.
No, Tessa, rawr.
Why are you pretending to be like a baby?
Because Athena is drunk on the floor. I'm just saying that
that's fine.
these are the noises she's making.
No,
So-
rawr is an inside joke. Rawr
I-
is an inside joke.
So I'm back.
Rah,
All right. So what's
Guys,
Dacius's what's his answer going to be?
He's like,
To what?
yo, you need
Because
to get a life, bro.
Shiva said, "How much did you actually forget?" Oh no, don't tell me you forgot about our engagement.
I don't remember anything like that.
Rawr.
Am I able to?
Well, that's boring.
Colton, are you asleep?
No.
I mean,
I guess we are still engaged, but doesn't mean anything if you don't remember. Do you even still have your ring?
So get married.
I wanna look in the little pouch, just
Yeah.
full of letters and shit.
Yes,
Yes.
he's looking through the pouch of the letters and the papers, and he does find a ring in it with it appears to be like it's an odd ring because in the center isn't a jewel per se, but it appears to be some of the magic water frozen in a very thin sheen of ice so that like the water can still move.
And he's just sort of looking at it really intently.
And finally his mind does remember a flashback of Shiva creating him and her the rings.
And he just tries to fit it on one finger.
And it does indeed fit.
And I oop.
I don't know.
Well, you still have the ring, so I guess the wedding can still happen.
Today!
How
She's forward, ain't she?
how much have I forgotten?
Well, if you can't even remember that, or do you remember anything of your old group?
I didn't even know I had an old group.
Did you forget what you were trying to do?
I guess.
It's a long story, but I guess since you are my bride, or not bride thing, since you are my husband to be, I guess I can tell you. And as she says that, Ifrit through the crystal, and it's sort of muffled because of how Athena is flopped on the floor, but he still gets his words out. You will not tell him anything.
Oh yeah, and there's that.
And Shiva turns around. Ifrit.
Ifrit! You woke me. Uh-oh.
It's certainly been a long time, hasn't it?
Athena wants to crawl over to Dacius.
Not long enough.
Everett, shut your mouth!
So, let me guess. You still mad about what the architects did? Mad. Mad doesn't even describe it.
Everett, you are under my control. Stop.
Yeah, how did you end up like that anyway?
Don't
I
ask questions.
love
Now,
how
okay,
Athena's
that's
still
the only
commanding
thing that
Ifrit
I'd be able to
using
say.
whenever she is
Um,
drunk as crap.
So basically, we met this merchant. You know, this merchant and this witch lady arguing. And this merchant, he was selling some sort of magical crystals. And one of them happened to be that crystal that whatever Ifrit is stuck in. And you know, it's really funny because I did give up quite a lot for that crystal, and I did regret it.
How did you even get turned into a crystal? She's like holding back laughter.
I will.
Athena, you can't do anything. Just,
Why? Athena, you're drunk off your ass.
just shut your mouth.
How about you shut yours? He stole my toy. He's like Leo.
Listen, Ifrit, it's nice that we get to catch up and everything, but knowing that you still hate the architects. I don't hate the architects. I hate all mortals.
Wow. Way to really break it down. I mean, I guess everyone kind of got that impression, but
Athena wants water.
So I'm just so Athena is like I wouldn't say she's crawling over to get the water. She's more like dragging her body with one arm,
She's like army crawling.
Athena, why?
trying to get to the water.
No more haziness. No more haziness, Theseus.
What?
I need to get
Wait a
water.
minute. Oh my god.
Baby, I need water. No more haziness. No more haziness.
That's not how that water works. I'll just let her figure it out.
No, how
Athena-
water works.
Athena gets to the pool. She sticks her hands in and she drinks some of the water. As she does this, she realizes her body does feel strange for a moment. She is most certainly
Yes.
not sober. That's for sure. But
I thought we figured that out already.
gameplay.
We
just
might
for
have.
gameplay.
You never know.
Her magic though
Yes.
has been replenished.
Oh.
Athena wants to she wants to go back over to Dacius and lay at his feet.
Okay, so she
feeling
make
that
out with
Athena's
his
gonna
feet.
try and cast a spell while she.
so
Dacius,
you're mine, my friend.
You're making an absolute fool of yourself.
Yes. you
and
are.
this is the half elf that Ifrit decided to join with.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if he decided to, but
Well,
Athena wants to change her appearance.
what? Oh,
Yes.
okay, I guess.
It's gonna go horribly wrong.
Okay, you're gonna have to roll to see how it goes, but tell me what she wants to turn into.
She wants to turn into a she wants to turn into like a I don't know what she wants to turn into. She wants to turn into a baby.
Okay.
oh. You rolled
got
a
a
2.
Oh, damn it!
So so Athena attempts to turn herself into a baby. She does transform herself,
This is too good
and
to miss.
she does reduce in size. However, the thing that she transformed into, no one would describe as a baby. They wouldn't describe it as really any living being,
Oh,
because
God.
it does not look like how any living being should look.
Oh my god.
That is disgusting.
What is she?
An eldritch horror is
Oh
what
my
she is.
God, dude.
What?
That's the problem right there.
She
Uh,
wants
No.
Athena wants to turn back into normal.
Roll again, please.
Roll again.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, she does manage to turn back to normal, but she's not feeling too good now.
What was that thing?
I don't know.
Anyways, Athena, stop. Why did? What did you order?
Hey, my cousin's gonna play for me for a second.
What? Oh. we both
My
were
cousin's
like,
gonna play for me
wait,
for a second.
hold on a second.
It's a
Hold up.
mid-session
Hold up.
personality change. It's fine.
Hello, can you play as a drunk, spoiled princess? Alright, well, guess we won't find out the answer. And Shiva begins to laugh again.
You know, it kind of does make sense that Ifrit would get that one as someone to
Yes.
join with.
Yup.
She's mean.
Oh yeah. What were you talking about with?
Yeah, guys, I'll be back. I'm gonna grab
Architect.
some dessert.
Oh, right. Okay, so where do I begin? So you were part of an ancient race called the Architects.
Okay. What? You got me there. You got. What the fuck is this?
So you were part of an ancient race called the Architects. They were some of the first intelligent beings that we found in the land, and the gods ordered us to come down and give them all land to use so they can survive. And they used it in ways that we told them not to, and well, we followed some orders that I am not really proud of. And so your race is gone. Every one of them. Except for you.
What?
Yeah, you never really knew your family, any of them. And so you wanted to try to find out things about the Architects. You wanted to try to look around, find some of their ancient technology, the things that they built. And I found that quite admirable. And, well, after you left here, I never saw you again for a couple 100 years until now.
And he just sort of falls onto his equivalent of knees.
Now let's cut back to Lashana and Gander trying to drive this giant Yeti. Isn't that like a
That's some tonal whiplash.
Yeah, tonal whiplash. Daisy is beginning to question his entire existence. Let's cut to some goofy adventures with Gander and Lashana trying to ride this giant hairy thing. So, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die from laughing so hard. So Gander is holding on to the reins. He's trying to guide this Yeti up this mountain, which should be fairly simple because it's only a spiral, but not so.
Corey, you can't die of laughter.
Oh, I'll find a way.
Oh God.
So what's is Lashana trying to actually drive it, or is she just kind of like holding the reins in her hands? and just sitting there.
He's holding the reins and watching Gander.
Lashana, please, we need to make this turn.
Fine.
All right, wait, let's roll for strength to see if we can make this turn. You know, for some reason during this, I hear that one Benny Hill song, the.
Oh my god.
So,
It's gonna be like one of those fucking Scooby-Doo gags where, you know, they come out of one door, run into the other. Except it's gonna be just you guys riding a Yeti with Nigel following. Sometimes you go through a door and then Nigel goes through a different one somehow.
yeah, we go through caves. Yes, I want to do that now. Okay, so Gander uses a good bit of strength to turn the Yeti, and Lashana, you know, she kind of didn't like Gander's tone of voice, so she just kind of like leisurely tilts to the same direction, not really trying. But thanks to Gander, the Yeti does begin to turn left, and they begin going around the corner. And as they go around the corner, they enter a hole leading into a cave, and it is very dark in here. They can't see anything. Do we keep going in the same direction, Lane? I can't see. I don't even know how I'm doing this. Oh, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. And like they can't see it, but like he's lounging back on the back of the Yeti, like one foot propped up.
God.
He's not even really awake. He's just trained himself when he's like blackout drunk from something. He just says that. So after they eventually do get through the cave, Gander looks back and his eyes almost they look like they almost come out of his head because Nigel is gone. Lashana, where'd Nigel go?
He's probably gone.
Well, and then he looks like, and the sled is it's somehow like going along the wall of the mountain. What? How is it? We need to get Nigel. Lashana, do you have anything that can, like, I don't know, like, can you throw anything that could hit him or something?
No.
No. What do we do? What do we do? I just love imagining this scene with the Benny Hill song.
God.
Freaking. This is the best tonal whiplash. Freaking Gander and Lashana's Scooby-Doo Adventures with Nigel. Starring Nigel. And then Dacius's, I don't know if we consider a midlife crisis or a 3/4 life crisis, but
A fucking existential crisis.
yeah. Okay, Gander's I gotta see what Gander has, because Lashana doesn't actually have anything she can use.
Alright,
wait.
people, I'm back.
Okay, so Dacius is questioning his entire existence, and while this is going on, Gander and Lashana are having a Scooby-Doo adventure with Nigel, because they went through a cave on the Yeti, and then Nigel's sled was gone, and now it's sliding on the wall of the mountain, and they have to try to get him before he flies off of the edge.
Why aren't you guys being smart and just yell for the dragon to come pick him up?
You have the dragon!
You can yell for him.
He's all the way at the top of the mountain!
He might have good hearing.
Yeah, I'm sure. Up at the very top of this mountain that is said to pierce the heavens, when there is a snowstorm, the dragon, he's gonna hear Gander's wails of "We gotta get Nigel back," and then he's gonna swoop down.
Hold up, roll like a fucking charisma check or something.
Fine, you know what? Fine, I swear, if I get a freaking 20,
You're going to thank Athena?
I'm going to do something to Athena.
I think everyone is at this point.
So, Gander, he's freaking out. Then,
Night
but then
baby. I mean,
he thinks, and he thinks that for some reason, perhaps by the slimmest chance of hope, of fate, because he trusted in fate before, if he calls for Ishtar might come. So to the top of his lungs, he screams out, "Ishtar, please save Nigel!" And it echoes throughout the mountain. And as it does so, from swooping down comes Ishtar. And he takes the sled in his two claws and begins flying Nigel up to the top. And Gander is happy and he breathes a sigh of relief. But then they hear what sounds like a crumbling noise.
Oh, baby.
Lashana, what's that? Lashana looks and she sees that Gander's scream caused an avalanche.
that's your fault.
Good going, nitwit.
It's the only thing I could think to do.
That's Athena. That's Athena's excuse.
Then why do you think?
Well, you didn't have any ideas. Let's
God.
so we'll cut away from freaking Gander and Lashana getting chased by an avalanche while Lane is still he's taking a nap at the back. So now we're back, and yeah, Dacius, yeah, he's not taking this revelation well.
Can we sleep and then talk about your marriage tomorrow? Me and Daisy just want to sleep. You can
Athena,
have fun with Daisy.
stop.
Don't tell me what to. We have to go to the capital.
And he's just shaking a little bit.
We
Oh,
have to go to the capital.
oh,
I
is
am the
this
child.
is this the time?
Huh? Huh?
Is this the moment? The moment I have been waiting.
Well, I don't know. Athena,
I'm just
shut
saying,
up.
is this the moment? I feel like it is.
Huh?
I don't think either of us know what you're talking about. I have an idea.
I'm saying,
But-
is
I have an idea
is
too.
this the moment where
I'm going to say
Dacius
no.
finally snaps at her?
No, Athena's curled up in a little ball crying.
And he looks like he's about to. But then he just looks at the ring. And all like and the package full of letters and shit.
That one letter! Now I know what it was about.
I've forgotten
Athena did not say
everything.
that.
Everything.
And Shiva looks at him very sorrowfully, and she flies down. She puts her hand on his back. It'll be okay. If you've forgotten, that must mean there's some way to remember it.
Maybe.
It's not your fault.
And he's just looking at all of the shit. Just all the ring, the letters, the notes, just all of it.
And he does, as he takes out that one letter, nice ribbon around it. And he looks at the handwriting, and he does know, he does remember that this is Margaret's handwriting. And he thinks back, and as he does see another memory. It's a playful memory. He remembers he's seeing Margaret writing down something. It appears to be some sort of letter. As she does, he comes in and he comments jokingly about how overly pristine she always makes her handwriting. And annoyed about that, she scolds him for it. And then the memory ends. And he looks now, and this is the only time he's ever truly looked at the letter and read what it said. And it reads, "My dearest Dacius, I know you won't remember me anymore, and that's just fine. To everyone around, I won't exist anymore either. I had some wonderful adventures with you. And no matter what happens to me or what happens to you from here on out, I will never forget you."
And he almost looks like he's tearing up, or at least his equivalent. God.
I feel like Athena really needs to say something really insensitive right
Nope. Athena's asleep.
now. Man, you really saved yourself with that one, didn't you?
Athena does not want to.
But it makes sense. She was very drunk. So, wow. I wish there was some way I could help you, Dacius. I wish I could tell you how you forgot.
I have a couple ideas, but that doesn't matter right now. Has anybody seen a guy with a long sword and a shield running around, paladin human?
And
No.
they're like everyone is like all the dwarves and the gnomes are kind of like scratching their heads, shrugging, and then Shiva flies over to her pool, and she makes the water rise up out of it, and it begins to sway and weave around. And as it does so, it forms a perfect recreation of the mountain. And she closes her eyes, and on one part of the mountain, on like the water sculpture of it, there's like a shine. And then she opens her eyes again. He nods,
Smoke
and he
weed every day.
he flies down, back down. Now, this is the perfect segue back to Gander and Lashana, who are trying to outrun the snow. Gander, he's like trying to speed the Yeti up, but he's also not trying to do it too fast to where they fly off of the mountain. Lashana, please, can you do something?
What do you want me to do?
I don't know, just something. Wake Lane up.
What?
Wake the dwarf up.
Hey, Dorf, wake up!
He's not getting up. Do you want to try to violently shake him? Could you roll to see how hard you violently shake him?
Alright, I got you, honey.
My God.
Just one or more than one?
Yeah, hold on. If I can hit the right button.
That would definitely be helpful.
Alright, guys. Tonight we are doing.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
So Lashana grabs.
Whoever gets the first bingo wins.
Lashana grabs Lane by the shoulders and violently shakes him around enough to like his arms and legs, which are limp just because he was asleep, are like flailing around. And then this does wake him up, and he turns around and he sees the avalanche. God blimey! What did you two do?
Gander decided it would be a good idea to think and screamed.
I'm sorry, okay? I was pressured. I couldn't think straight.
Neither could Nico.
Oh, bugger. Oh, all right. Hand me the reins. And he does take the reins from Gander and Lashana, and as he does, Ishtar flies down, and he grabs Lashana and Gander with his claws and starts bringing them back up. And the cold.
Ishtar, get the stuff.
But Ishtar's already flying up with the others too, and like his claws are both of them. So he's bringing them up, but back down with Lane while this is going on. He turns back to the avalanche. So you think I can't outrun you, huh? Well then, time to put an old dwarf spirit to the test. And he enhancing his body with magic, he whips down on the Yeti, forcing it to run even faster. And the avalanche begins to cover the cliffside. And all that Lashana and Gander see is the avalanche covering the entire side. Lane! Oh.
There goes my chance at free stuff.
I knew she was gonna say it like that. So then Ishtar brings them both to the top, and both of them look sad.
I miss.
So are they at like the entrance or whatever?
Yes, they're at the entrance, so Dacius sees them.
Holy shit, Gander, are you okay?
Physically,
Thanks, Dacius.
yes. But Lane, he stayed down there.
Fuck! God damn it!
And
He's a dwarf. He should be fine.
Dacius is already just like too emotionally destroyed to even fully say that.
Okay. Well, welcome to the palace.
And as they slowly begin walking towards it, they hear another rumble. They turn around, and fully covered in snow, they see the giant Yeti stop and, like, popping out of pretty much like the entire snow hill that is on top of the Yeti. There's Lane.
Ah,
Never underestimate the spirit of a dwarf, and all of, like, the dwarves who are also outside waiting, they're like, here, pumping their fists up in the air.
thank the gods.
Thank the gods he's alive. I see Lashana saying, thank the gods I can get my free stuff.
Ah, fuck.
Blanket and oh
Yeah.
my god.
So, what have you and Athena been doing? Where is Athena?
Oh.
and like just now getting to the entrance is the flopping
He
Athena.
wants to yell Gander's name.
Okay, so she's flopping down on the floor.
Ah, right, you know, there she is.
What happened to her?
She ran off, decided to go to the bar and make
Was
some
she
of the.
cursed to not use her arms and legs anymore?
No, she's hammered.
Oh.
I don't know
Oh.
why. I don't know why she ran off to the bar. I also don't know why she decided to, you know, to piss off all the people there. But you know, she's just unpredictable like that.
Oh. I'll go pick her up.
Thank you.
he walks over and he picks her up. Hello?
Dad!
Excuse me?
Dad, we should go play the park.
She's been calling me dad and uncle for the past like 10 minutes.
Huh. You know,
Dad?
does make me
Dad's a mean
one.
uncle.
That does make me wonder. She never really has talked about her family, has she?
No, and I guess it is kind of unfortunate that the one time she's gonna sit there and you know, talk about something serious would be the one time that no one would want to listen to her.
Dad? Uncle's rude. Uncle Dacius.
Uncle Daisy.
And
Wow.
Better run, boy.
and then Shiva, who is also outside. You know, I could make a nice, icy, solitary room to put.
You cut out.
Oh. Shiva says, you know, I could make her a nice, icy, solitary room to put her in.
That'd be great.
I don't want to be fuzzy. I don't want to be fuzzy.
And like
Dad,
and
Dad,
like in
Dad.
like the very middle of the
Yes.
palace, Shiva flies back in and she creates like just a box. And Gander walks in, takes Athena in. We're going to put you in here for a while.
Athena's holding it on like really tight.
Can you let go?
No, Dad.
We're gonna have to have competing strength checks.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh wow, I really don't think. Wow. Wow.
What Athena
Okay.
get?
Well, Athena didn't get a good roll, but Gander got an even worse roll. So
Well,
this is all-
doesn't
this is-
Gander have the modifiers though?
Yeah, I was gonna say it all depends on modifier, which yeah. So Gander is able to pry her off, and he puts her in the room. And Shiva does. She doesn't like. There wasn't a door. What she did is she put like a doorway. They put Athena in it, and then she just made ice to close it. So there's no way for Athena to get out.
That should keep her for a while. Oh, who are you, by the way? No, I'm Shiva. I'm Dacius's fiancée. Oh, all right. Wait, his what?
Yeah, it surprised me too. You know.
He's never talked about you, so I. she like, it's fine. It's because he has amnesia, but like they can both tell that she's like really angry about it, even though
Listen.
she's smiling on the outside.
Listen, Shiva. I will try to remember.
We had such great adventures too. You don't even remember the seal?
No.
The seal.
I think I think Audrey, you have a different idea of what I mean by seal.
Let's hope you have a better version of what I'm thinking.
Yes, I think I know what you're thinking of. He was our pet seal.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. Really, you don't remember the seal that sealed away Quetzalcoatl?
Listen, for the past 10 years, you know, I've been convinced that I didn't have a race, that I was just, you know, alone. I didn't know about all these groups. I didn't know about my race, any of that.
Not even Grit. That really is sad. Look, I'm going to be honest. I wish I could relate. I've been spending all these millennia trying to learn more about the mortal races, all of these people, but we Celestials, we don't have problems like that.
Well, there's only one thing, well, I guess 2 things I can think of doing now. Trying to remember and, you know, maybe even trying to remember through some pretty unconventional methods.
Unconventional? What did you have in mind?
I'm done.
Well,
Oh my
assuming fucking God, Athena wasted all the money, didn't she? She wasted. Oh, God. Well, I was going to ask pretty much everyone if they wanted to go out for a drink, but unfortunately, I can't pay for that.
Oh, please. You're my fiancé. I haven't seen you in, what, hundreds of years? Come on. Free drinks for everyone. All on me. In
Well-
fact, Dacius, would you like to have a competition? And as she says this, all the dwarves, they all... And like the gray bearded one, like right now he looks just like the like even wiser than he did before. Shiva is known far and wide as the Liquor Queen. There is no one in all of Azarath who is able to hold their beer more than she can.
Wait, what? What was that?
Well,
Wait, what?
gee. I guess me and the older version of me
even
did
is
have
this?
some things in common. I don't know.
It's what it is a very over dramatized way of saying this celestial spirit likes to drink and she can drink all alone.
Well, can't really say no.
Then let's go party! And she flies over to the bar.
God.
And like all the dwarves and like Kurt, including Curtis walks up and puts his hand on Dacius' shoulder. I'm going to warn you now. You're facing a beast far greater than any monster you ever had to fight.
Oh, believe me. I guess I'll just have to find out on my own.
he like pats his shoulder. By the gods, I pray for Dacius. And like all the dwarves are in the bar, and even like some of the gnomes. Like the gnomes start bringing out mugs. And Shiva's just waiting. Like she's not sitting on like the bar stool. She's just kind of floating very slightly above it.
Well, guess I'm gonna find out for myself if what they say is true.
Oh, it's very true.
Yes.
And
All right.
and all she does is she just kind of like nods to the bartender, and he nods back, and he brings out the clear liquid Dacius is familiar with. Dragon Daniels, an entire mug full.
Oh, pretty dangerous game.
And, oh, this is. She takes her. She points out her pointer finger, and a small drop of water is formed on the tip, and it falls into her glass. And like it ripples throughout, but there's a slight glow, a very slight glow coming, mug, and all of the dwarves. She did it.
Oh,
How do I lay down?
well, whenever you're ready.
And or does he want one of those drops too? She only did it in her.
Yes.
Okay, so he's gotta say it.
I think it'd only be fair if, our drinks had the same contents.
And she smirks. Okay. And she like drops it in. I will warn you though, you weren't able to handle the last.
Well, let's hope I'm better than I used to be.
All right. They both take the mugs, and like all the dwarves, they've got like their fists clenched. They're like, this is the most tense thing they've ever seen. Gander and Lashana are just kind of in the corner, like, what's going on here? Lashana, do you know what's going on?
Not a clue.
So I
Alright.
imagine I'm gonna roll Constitution.
Yes, you are going to roll
Now,
that Constitution.
You said last game that you did give us, or you were going to give us all one inspiration.
Correct.
So well,
Yes.
let's see how it
Sure,
goes
well.
first. Is it enough?
Hold on, I gotta up everyone's inspiration, because I didn't do that, but I did promise I would. So
I rolled a 15.
yes, I did see that. So they both immediately start chugging down the Dragon Daniels. However, unlike his first taste he had back at the Griffin's Nest, like, the sensation, not only did it taste even better than the one there, and he is fairly certain it is because of the drop of magic water, but the kick immediately comes in. And Dacius, he's trying his best. He's holding out here. He's really trying to keep it up. And they both finish their mugs at around the same time. And he's feeling a little tipsy, but he looks over at Shiva, who looks no worse for wear.
Help me, I can't walk.
Holy shit.
Think you can take another?
Hit me.
And like the bartender immediately placed 2 mugs up, and she placed 2 more drops in. Roll again.
Please.
If this gets a 20, oh
Wait.
no!
Hold up. Can I use the inspiration?
Yes, you can use the inspiration.
Yes!
Oh man. Second mug goes down. Dacius, it is affecting him. It truly is, but he's not sure exactly what it is. There's some burning will he has that he needs to keep himself standing. So he is still standing. Third mug. I know. Alright, let's see. I really hope you get a 20 on one of these. I really do.
So I roll.
Roll, yes.
Damn
it! Dang. This is like the best mini game we've had. Can you drink more than the spirit? The third mug, Dacius, his body just physically can't handle it anymore. His eyes go blurry, and he is forced to pass out. And as Shiva pumps her mug up into the air in victory, and the other dwarves begin to cheer and clap. And the old dwarf still with that, and he has like a 1,000-yard stare. She truly is the queen of.
Oh, and this is where it begins.
Yes, Daisy's other arc. It's freaking. I love it's just like a tournament arc going on. It's just for who can drink more, him or his possible wife.
Honestly, I kind of love that. I really do.
God.
It's great aspects for both of their characters. Okay. So, Dacius wakes up. He wakes up in it's a fairly comfy bed. There's no ice or anything. It's just a very nice, very woolly bed. And he sees Gander standing by, and he hears like clanking, and as he turns, he sees Lashana is walking in with like 10 vials of stuff. What the fuck? Yes.
I made standard.
Do you even know what's in those?
Nope.
Yes, she, well, let's just say the reason she caught that avalanche was partially because she wanted.
I wanted stuff. All I had to do was bring the other stuff up here, and then I got stuff.
I didn't win, did I?
No, you did not.
Damn it. How far did I get?
3.
Are you serious?
They were fairly big mugs, though. In your defense, I would say.
You know, I kind of remember. Kind of remember trying that before.
And he thinks back, and from what he remembered, he drank. He only got through one of her like water infused ones before passing out. However, they did both have about 5 Dragon Daniel mugs before she switched over.
I'll get her one day.
On his like mental to-do list that is now at the very top. Okay.
What were we here for? What were we doing?
Well, we were trying to get to the capital, and
oh my God, the war! Oh fuck!
I wonder if Athena's okay now.
No.
How long has it been?
I don't know. It's somewhat hard to tell due to the cloud, but I believe it's daytime now.
Okay. Well, we gotta figure out how to get to the capital somehow.
And while this is going on, let's cut to Athena in her box she's stuck in.
Athena had
For anyone out of
having
context,
nightmare memories
thinking about someone
of
stuck in
her
a box.
past.
Really weird.
Oh, she's thinking about memories of her past.
Yeah, she's having like she was
Okay.
having terrible memories.
So she thinks back. Or she doesn't think back. She passed out. She finally passed out fully. And while she was passed out, she was having a dream. However, she knows this one. It's not another one of Ifrit's. And in this dream, she sees a young boy, not too much older than her, clad in chainmail armor. And
Leo?
as she calls his name,
He turns around. I'm sorry, sister.
What'd you do?
Father has commanded that I fight.
You told me you would never go.
I'm
You
sorry.
told me you would be here to protect me when I left.
I'm protecting you now.
No, Leo, stay.
I'm sorry. And he leaves.
Leo.
And that's when she wakes up. And she now realizes, she's of course scared and sad, but then she looks around, she sees she's stuck in a box.
What the happened last night?
And Ifrit
Ender!
and Ifrit appears. They can't hear you.
Why?
They did this to you, Athena.
Why would they do that?
They shoved you
my
in a box.
I'll get my revenge. Get my revenge on this whole kingdom.
Oh.
Well,
Taking Leo. For taking my mom.
first, we have to get out of here.
I cannot let you use your full power to melt this freaking box. I will not be immobile.
You have
Oh!
your magic back.
Lightning bolt! Firebolt! Firebolt!
Okay.
Actually, no. That takes too much of her magic. Lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt takes more of her magic.
Yeah, and how is that going to like help?
Fireball is the one that takes up a lot of magic. Firebolt does not.
Bolt! Okay, I'll do bolt. Firebolt.
There we go. Okay, can you roll, please?
Please, Gavin.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just also remember, you do have
What I get?
more inspiration. You got an 11, but I gotta look at your intelligence, which is oddly somewhat high considering what's been shown of Athena.
Yeah.
So she fires the fire at her ice prison, and it does burn a hole through it.
She wants to climb through the hole.
Okay, so Athena, she squeezes out the hole, and she doesn't see the others anywhere, but she does turn around. She does see that, yes, indeed, they trapped her in a box.
Athena wants to pull out her dagger and write on it, my revenge is coming.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
With her dagger.
You're going to have to do a strength check, because that's not easy. You do have inspiration.
What I get?
You got
6.
You got a 6.
Oh. Let's use an inspiration.
Okay, she wants to use an inspiration. Wow.
What'd she get?
A 9.
A 9, which is better.
Yeah.
Better. Or she can just write revenge.
Okay, so she wants to say revenge. However, as she tries to dig the dagger into the ice, she sees that the ice is much more resilient than she thought. So she pretty much chips away at the ice and just puts a big revenge on it. And as she was doing this, Dacius, Gander, and Lashana come out of where they were, and they see Athena free. They see the hole she made, and
they read what she just put up there. She also still has her dagger out.
What the fuck?
Athena wants to turn around and grab her wand and point the wand at Dacius. Well, actually,
Okay.
no, she wants to point it at Gander.
Oh.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, she does that. She takes out her wand and points it at Gander, and he, like, kind of puts his hands up. Like, what did I do?
What's wrong with you?
I will get my revenge on the Capitol, on you all, for my brother, and for my mother.
What have I done to your brother? I didn't even know you had a brother.
I thought we were going to the capital to stop that war.
I want to blast, I want to blast Dacius with a ray of frost.
Yes. Okay, sorry. Please roll.
Fuck.
It's a 9. Again, you have inspiration.
Roll! I'm using the... Corey, you roll for me.
Okay, you want to use an inspiration?
Yes.
Alright, here we go. Is that going to be a worse? Let's see.
Fuck.
Hello?
Fuck.
Oh, yeah, that was a lot better. So,
What'd you get?
Athena fires a ray of frost at Dacius, and he didn't expect her to actually attack. And Dacius became frozen solid in the ice.
Alright, Athena wants to turn invisible and leave the castle. I know, ignore it.
Before she does turn invisible, but as she's about to leave, doorway, like ice from the doorway, it rises and closes it. The castle is now like she can't leave. She's stuck now. And from above, Shiva descends. And that menacing look she had returned.
I do not want to bring out Ifrit.
And I had a feeling that I'd have to be wary of you. But I didn't.
Me?
But I didn't think you'd go this far.
This far? They locked me in a...
You deserved it.
Can I try to break out of the ice?
With just strength?
I guess.
I mean, well, hold up. You might have something, maybe. Look, I mean, I have been wanting this moment. I really have. I mean, I guess you could, theoretically, you could try to, do a Eldritch Blast. Hold up 1 second.
Can Athena say something to Gander?
Just hold up 1 second. Because I think, depending on what this does, it will be of great interest to Gavin. Come on, I didn't see that you had this before. I need to see what it is.
What is it?
How did I not? Oh!
What is it?
Gavin, I'm sorry.
What?
You can use a smaller version of the Hunger Hatter called the Arms of Hatter, where you summon dark tentacles to attack enemies around you. And
Oh
in this
my
and
god.
in this instance, it would work on that ice.
I want to do that.
I didn't know. I'm
Well, do I
sorry.
need anything to do it?
No.
Oh,
Yes, it happens instantaneous.
I want to do that on the ice.
Okay. I will say just I need to see like does it each creature. Yeah. Okay. Can you roll a 2d6?
Ah.
Okay. So as Athena is trying to argue her way with Shiva, dark tendrils sprout from the ground under Dacius, and they all wind up and bash on the ice. It's not enough to destroy it completely. However, enough cracks are formed to where a small hole in Dacius's head, like he can talk through it now, was formed.
What the fuck, man?
I would never lock you in a box.
You were drunk as hell.
I would never lock you in a box.
Let me leave.
And as she talks, her voice is infused with Ifrits. So it sounds like they're both talking at the exact same time.
Let us leave.
And Shiva, a cold wind begins to stir around her.
And Athena heats up.
You know what, Ifrit? Maybe you were right all along. There are mortals that are too corrupt to allow to live. I need to see what time it is. This would be a perfect cliffhanger. So okay, no, we got time. We got time. You don't have to murder. We got time. We do got time. Oh man.
Let's start burning.
Oh boy. This.
Wait, no, hold up. Athena wants to just look at Gander.
Okay.
Now would be a nice time to spill your secret.
Is she gonna like aim an attack at him?
No, she
Oh.
just wants to say now would be a nice time to spill your secret.
Well, it's okay. I was gonna say if she like held an attack at him, have more reason to say it, but I mean that works too. That works too. Do the others look at Gander when she says that?
I mean, I'll try.
Well, yeah, like you're like right now, like the top half of your body is free.
Okay. But yes, I will look at Gander.
Okay, he looks at Gander. Lashana as well looks at Gander. And he does he looks at them both. I will tell you all everything once this battle. And he aims his longs at.
Now I'm kind of regretting giving him that. You know, I hope it doesn't work.
Oh. Who did he aim his longsword at? You cut out.
He aims it at Athena.
Okay.
So then, what does Athena want to do?
She wants to burst into fire.
Alrighty. So, she does have, by the way, just for like a visual thing, she does have like 2 fire wings as well, like she did last time. So, Uh,
And she also wants to start flying.
well, yeah, I mean, she's kind of been flying. Like, you don't just have wings not immediately. I mean, come on.
Okay.
So I will have you a 1d20, Dacius. Could you roll 1d20? Or do you want me to roll?
You roll.
Okay. My rolls haven't been much better, but maybe this will change. Nope. Surely
What'd I
didn't. You got a 5.
Oh, how many inspirational things do I have?
You have, I think, 2? Yes.
See, but like the thing is, I don't want to burn y'all. I just want to catch on fire.
Well then, I guess this works.
Okay.
Okay, so, Athena covers herself with her wings, and as she does this, she begins building up heat, and in an instant, as she she unfurls her wings, the flame bursts out, and the palace does begin to shake due to the fire now starting to melt it.
Let me leave.
But Shiva will not be stirred, and she, as the cold wind continues to go around her, she holds out hands, and the cold wind turns into small specks of ice, and those come together to form a large sword. She grabs it, and she attempts to strike Athena Ifrit.
Athena Ifrit, really?
Yeah.
Bruh, where's Nigel?
Athena. There we go. There's their fusion name. So she flies over at great speed. Like, it is even faster than when she flew to hug Dacius, which was already, like, way too fast for anyone to react. And she does swing down onto Athena. I gotta see how much damage this is gonna do. Oh, damage. And as it hits, Athena notices that even though she is made of fire, the ice still hurts. And she can hear directly in her mind this time. No mind space, but directly in her mind, Ifrit speaks. Her ice is strong enough to put out flame. You best be careful.
Can Athena think back? Can we just leave? I do not want to do any damage. I just want to leave. Go to the capital and fight.
Then Ifrit, he forces her arm to raise up to the ceiling, and and Athena's hand begins charging something. And now, what do our party members do?
I want to try and hit her with a ray of enfeeblement.
Ooh. Okay.
Wow. I don't have any inspiration, do I?
I don't think so. Let me
Yeah, it
look.
was just the one.
Let me look. No.
What did he get?
Fuck, I got a
He
1.
got a 1. So, Dacius attempts to shoot a ray of enfeeblement. However, even though Athena seems to be preoccupied with charging whatever she is building up, her wing bends around her like a shield and hits away Dacius's ray of enfeeblement. And in fact, it almost reflected and hit him. But due to the ice melting just in time, he was able to get out of the way.
God, why?
If you just let me leave!
Gander runs up and he attempts to strike. Wow. He runs up and he tries to hit her with his sword. However, just as with Dacius, the wing smacks Gander, which does burn him. The heat from the wing itself leaves burns through his armor on his body.
Ifrit, do not burn them!
This is your body now.
Do not hurt them!
Now, what does Lashana want to do?
She has like a bunch of vials of random shit. So I mean,
Lashana. Well,
I'm here. Give me 1 second.
okay.
You of all people!
I am so happy this happened. I have been wanting this moment to happen. Not like this.
Ifrit?
No, I'll explain it when the session's up.
I just want Athena to leave and go to the capital, man.
I know, just shush.
but what will you do when you get there?
I have my plan. You don't understand, Dacius.
Anyway, I'm here now. What?
Okay, what do you want to do to stop Athena?
I want to shoot her with a crossbow.
That is actually a really good choice. Yes, please roll 1d20.
Oh my god, please! Her arrow's going to be fucking blessed or something.
Nope. Wow.
Wait. Doesn't she have good dexterity?
Yes.
Athena, Shauna also has inspiration.
Okay, give me just a minute.
She does have inspiration. Would you like to use an inspiration to try to re-roll?
Yes.
Okay. Could you re-roll, please?
For the love of God.
She gets a 20. Well.
What's up with these rolls, man?
I don't know,
Ever since that
man.
tournament. That's when it went downhill.
Yep, ever since the competition. So Lashana tries to fire an arrow. However, the heat that is building around Athena burns the arrow before it even hits.
Iridescent purple.
And
So, Miss Sam.
Wait.
despite Shiva's look, she knows what is about to happen. She tosses her sword aside, and she builds more ice walls around everybody. And now Athena, in the palm of her hand is a large orb of fire.
You want to be fabulous.
She launches it upwards and as it hits the ceiling, it explodes, causing craters of fire to fall down. This leaves not only a gigantic hole in the ceiling, but the craters are destroying the other parts of the palace. And then Athena spreads she spreads her wings, and she begins flying out. This was the only way, Athena. We are fully merged. If you didn't allow it, that wouldn't have happened at all. And they fly away. And then back at the palace, Shiva, there are, like, everyone, all the dwarves, all the gnomes in the party, including Shiva, are hidden under a very small, like, pyramid-like ice walls, and they can feel each fireball hit on the wall. And Dacius looks up and he sees how Shiva, despite again her serious look and her celestial status, she is struggling.
Is there I don't think there'd be anything I could do.
Let me look at your spells, because there is depending on how this works, even if it doesn't the way I think it does, it would still be a really nice thing for him to do.
I'll get your deliveries tomorrow and the next day, so that I can get your stuff.
Okay, so you do have a spell called Chill Touch, which is a cantrip, so you can just use it whenever. Now, it's not like freezing as in ice cold. It's more of it's more like death cold, but he could still try it because it doesn't cost anything.
That sounds pretty fucking risky, though. I mean, I guess it couldn't warm up the ice, so...
No.
Yeah. Wow,
Wait.
what the fuck?
Wait,
what is this shit?
Oh, wow. Okay, so Dacius walks up to one of the walls, and he attempts to use Chill Touch. He places the ghostly hand on the wall. However, it doesn't appear to be getting any, but that's all he can do. And Shiva looks down at him. She sees how he knows what he's doing isn't helping, but it's all he can think of, and she does smile. And she looks back at her wall, and she does reinforce them even harder. I need to see if
I did have the biggest stretch of an idea, but I know that's not how it works. God,
Oh wow! I did.
What?
Hold the frick up. The frick up. What the frick? What the frick is that? Don't you dare tell me. Freaking book. I swear, if I have missed this...
Is it another spell I have?
Gosh dang. No, it's a spell that I have.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
I forget.
Gander has those. Most of them are like cure. He does also have magic circle and stuff. He has magic circle, and he has remove curse, which you all. But that's not what I'm looking up. Where is it? Come on, I need to see what this is. Please don't be. I think it is. It's probably not what I think it is. Where is it? Is it? Okay, it's after. Here we go. Okay. Oh. Okay. Well, I know something for future reference.
What?
So Gander can revive people. But before any of you say anything, he only got it when he got to level 3. And it can only revive people if they have died in the past minute.
Okay. Well, that works.
That's so good.
Yeah, so it's not like, oh, I could have used it all these other times and I just didn't know.
Yeah, well, I didn't figure they'd give you that at the beginning of the game.
No, well, there's also another spell called Resurrection, which I would think would be a full revive spell. But, like, still, I saw that. I saw Revivify. That's what it's called. And I was like, don't you dare tell me he's had that this whole time.
I was about to fucking say.
Gander's an idiot.
So there's not a whole lot we can do, I don't think. Again, I had the one idea, but I don't think the arms of Hatter is supposed to be just like, oh yeah, you can summon tentacles that do whatever the fuck.
No, it's like they smash something.
Yeah.
So, why I was looking at his spells is because I was seeing if Gander had like a spell where he could like help protect it somehow. He does have one called Shield of Faith. What that does. But as Gander is pondering, the old dwarf walks up to the group. He says, "You see, Shiva, protecting you all, and yet what are you all doing? This is not the dwarf way." All the dwarves look at each other, and then they all puff out their chests. They all know. Now then, she's taken us in. She's given us, I don't know how much beer. We owe our very
it's 10 o'clock. I gotta go.
Okay, see ya.
See ya.
We owe our very lives to her. You all know what to do. And all the dwarves, they march to the sides of the walls, and they all start pushing up on them to keep them supported. Like, the dwarves begin to, like, stand up on each other's shoulders. And the gnomes even climb up to the very tops of the towers of the dwarves to help the very tops.
I want to try and help.
Dacius looks up to one of the towers, and he sees Curtis there. Curtis and Lorenzo. And they look down at him, and they hold out their hands for him to climb up.
Oh, God. I'm gonna have to roll dexterity, aren't I?
Yes.
Fuck. Why?
That...
Why? They've all been fucking terrible.
They really have. They really have. So, so he tries to climb up. However, he's unable to do it. From the ray of frost that froze him, his joints are still numb. However, Gander walks up behind him. He faces his shield Like, he places his shield so the front of the shield is facing up towards the ceiling.
Please.
Alright, come on. Come on, please. Yes! Yes! He like looks at Dacius, and Dacius sees what he wants. Dacius gets on top of Gander's shield, and Gander launches Dacius up. Lorenzo and Curtis grab Dacius, and they all hold up the wall together.
Yes.
And they, as an effort, they all keep pushing back against the fireballs until they don't feel any force against the. Then
I feel like crap.
Shiva lowers the ice walls, and as they look around, they see that the palace is now completely gone. The only thing still remaining is the see-through floor.
Why?
Gander, he looks out to where Athena flew off, and he points his sword in that direction. I promised to be your bodyguard. And I'm sorry once more. But I will no longer carry on that duty.
So what, is she just going off to... Did she just burn one citadel to go off and burn another?
Shiva, she's been up in the air this entire time, but she does fall to the ground. She's out of breath. I've been using my magic to keep up that palace. Looks like I'm finally worn down.
Nah. Come on, you can't be serious.
She looks at Dacia. She looks up at Dacia. Dacius. It looks like her wedding vows are going to have to wait. She takes off the ring that she had, and she holds it out to Dacia.
And he takes it.
And she smiles back before she does close her eyes. And as her eyes close, body, like the ice she controlled, melts away. But the water that is left from it floats in the air for a small time, or it flows over to the hot spring, which is still there, and it flows inside. And the dwarves all look with sadness.
so do the gnomes. And they all crowd around the spring, and they all bow their heads. Gander walks over to them as well. He plunges his long sword into the ground and kneels down by it.
Dacius goes up. He puts the ring in the bag, and he kneels.
And that is where the session ends. I have been waiting so long to have this play out. Now, granted, this entire end scene, not what I planned out at all. But what I have been waiting for, I was waiting for Athena to mess up, attack either the dwarves or Dacius while in the palace, so that she could anger Shiva and she'd be forced to activate Ifrit so that they would fight. I
didn't want to fight though. Like, that's the thing. I just wanted Athena to leave.
And she did. She did leave.
She wanted to keep them as, like, well, not really as friends, but, like, just, like, she didn't want them to kill, like, come find, like, oh!
Ifrit didn't kill anybody.
On a technicality, he did.
Yeah, on a technicality, he didn't.
How? If it wasn't for the thing, for the
You were the one who, instead of sitting down and doing anything else, you.
And then also, what I was going to bring up is the reason why is because the dwarves are all still alive. The gnomes are all still alive. Dacius, Gander, Lashana, Nigel, Ishtar, they're all still alive. The only one who died was Shiva. And the reason, while it was due to Athena's and Ifrit's attack, it was also because she was using most of her magic to keep up the palace.
Yeah.
So, in Ifrit's mind, his justification is he didn't kill her. She killed herself because she protected mortals. It was her fault.
Okay, but now I have a question. So,
Yes.
they're not permanently fused together, correct?
No.
Okay. Thank
No.
God.
This is sort of like the perfect fusion of themselves, where both of their actions, like, they both subconsciously agree with. No one is taking more action than the other.
I feel so terrible.
As you should. As Athena. This is the thing about Athena. She does horrible things that she should feel bad for, but she doesn't. Or if she does...
I feel terrible.
I know you do, but does Athena feel terrible?
Yes, Athena feels terrible because she didn't want to leave like that. She really just wanted to write revenge on the thing and then just leave.
Well,
but
I
then
mean,
did she? She fired the Ray of Frost at Dacius.
Yeah. That
she didn't just want that. This is you justifying to yourself just having like Athena. I'm pointing out it's like you are basically Athena in this moment where you're trying to justify to yourself what you did and why like I didn't want to have to do that, but you did. Ifrit will also remind you, yes, you did.
See, but me thinking about it, I feel kind of stupid now because I used Ray of Frost and the ice person's castle.
Yep. I mean, anything would have
pissed her off because you fired an attack at her husband to be, and not even just that, but it was everything leading up to that. Like,
Yeah.
if she fired an attack at Dacius, like, you know, right at the beginning, and like they met Shiva like before that, but she didn't get drunk, none of that other stuff ever happened, then Shiva would have asked questions first. But she's seen that Ifrit is with Athena. She's seen how Athena acts. So she knew she didn't have to ask questions. But I have been waiting so long. I've had that scene. I mean, yes, in my version, they've all played out differently. But
that Athena was going to die.
No, how it played out in my head all those other times. What would have happened was that Ifrit and Athena would have fused during, like, when Ifrit was having an argument with Shiva when they first met. But the reason they didn't is because Athena was drunk. So she couldn't fully merge with Ifrit at that point. If she wasn't drunk, I feel like possibly she would have. But how I imagined it is they see Shiva. Shiva pretty much tells Ifrit, like, dude, you gotta grow up, man. Like, the mortals. Also, I just want to also bring up, Shiva never, watered them down to just mortals, except when referring to Athena, when she said, maybe you're right, there are some mortals that shouldn't exist.
Bruh.
Yeah.
See, that was on purpose. Even when she said mortal races, she didn't just call them.
See, but this would be the perfect time, or at least at some point, to start a redemption arc.
It would be, but again, this is Audrey. This is up to her. Whether Athena decides to feel bad for her actions. But you could also make a case for, at the moment, even if Athena feels bad, that's not what's on her mind right now. What's on her mind is get to Capital and, like, either stop the war by talking it out or most likely destroying everything.
You know, it's funny too, because, you know, to Dacius, he's been thinking about it, and he's like, Dacius did genuinely take a piece off of himself to get that crystal. Like, that wasn't the reason he did it, but that was, like, he literally gave up a piece of himself for that crystal.
We're all getting a ton of experience from this, by the way, because I think it just makes sense. And you know what? Because
I feel terrible.
You should. Like, you really, really should.
You know, what a great vacation. What a great trip to the nice ice palace with all the really nice floors and the nice celestial.
Okay, so again, what I was going back to, so, you know, they were going to merge, and they were going to, when, you know, Shiva was talking like that to him. But at first, it would have been sort of playful. Shiva was going to bring up, when they merged, she would have told Ifrit, I remember when we used to play like this, like, as she gets her ice sword out, but do you remember who always won? And then they would fight, and then how I imagine it would play out is that's when Athena would attack either the dwarves or Dacius in, like, a fit of anger, and then that's when Shiva would get serious. Then during their fight,
oh yikes!
She would have taken down Shiva.
what I was thinking, which I knew it wouldn't happen this way. Oh my god, this stupid iPad. Sorry, my internet. I was thinking that Athena would like. I was debating it, but I was thinking that Athena would merge with Ifrit in the ice
In the icebox thing.
and just and
Well,
just, then just go out the front door.
That's what I mean. I was thinking she would merge with him then, but you didn't. He even tried to get you to do it, but you said no.
Yeah.
Which I mean, but to be fair, I think this worked
No, I
out
know.
way better because I was waiting
I was like
for
debating.
Athena and Ifrit merged to fight Shiva. The outcome did not happen as because I had two outcomes that I had in my head. One, she wouldn't kill Shiva. They would both be extremely weakened from the fight, and then like she would have, I don't know, left or something. And then the other one was she kills Shiva in the fight, which technically that happened.
It's great now too because now there is a genuine reason for Dacius to be full on pissed.
Yes, because all these other things that Athena has done up to this point, they've been bad, but none of them have been enough for any of the characters to be like, you've gone too far and we need to stop you. But this right here, because even Gander, the most loyal one to her, who entrusted her with his secret about his existence essentially vanishing after this, he decided to betray her because even he could see this is too far. I can't allow you to do this to Dacius and everyone. So yes, this was an excellent session. And it did start out a nice vacation. It started out perfectly fine. It was only until Athena got way too angry about being put in a box.
Yeah. And that was because she got hammered.
Yes. So let's see. What is the continuing factor on why a lot of the things that have happened in our campaign that aren't good have happened?
And it's funny too because she was she was also the one who was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna take Dacius and these dwarves up there," because this might not have happened if Gander and the rest went up first, or if her and someone else who wasn't pissed at her went up first, or wasn't having such a good time. But she had to take the really weird route.
Yeah, she. By the way, if you want to know how much experience we all got from, we got 1,000 because I think that is a lot. We still haven't leveled up yet, but that is a lot. But I think it makes sense for the situation.
Yeah.
By the way, I just noticed because I wasn't looking at the thing that Audrey left.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I was gonna tell you, but.
Yeah, I mean that's okay. I mean it's still interesting to think about. But yeah, now Dacius has a clear reason. They all do. I mean I don't know how big Lashana is going to be, but like I think Lashana can now fully justify to herself like, okay, yeah, I can I can afford to kill Athena now.
Yeah.
Because she's turned and what's really interesting is if you think about what Ifrit said like before they merged, his conversation with Athena, she said, I can't trust anybody. When he said when Ifrit was like, I am you and you should
be able to trust yourself. And she says, I can't trust anybody. And he says, now might be a good way to start. That's an interesting, like, inverse on what that normally means.
Yeah.
Because instead of it being maybe it's time you start bonding with other people, it's I think it's time you trusted in your own desires of hate and anger.
Yeah. Man.
But that could also be like a really good like roundabout line. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Athena does go off and we all meet up again eventually at some point. And then maybe like one of the other characters, maybe even Dacius, despite all the hate, because of course we're all gonna have like one adventure being a part.
Yeah.
So perhaps what Dacius finds out on that adventure and everything, he sees Athena again. Perhaps she's like completely weakened. It's his perfect chance to finish her off, which he is really completely justified in doing. But instead of that, he goes up to her and he offers to start again and have her trust people. And she says she could repeat, I don't trust anybody. And then he could say, maybe it's time you start. And then they all come back. Oh, that'd be great. That would be amazing. That would be the best. Like, and now that we're splitting up, I actually, because she did message me earlier about something she did want to happen with Athena, but there wasn't really a good time for it to happen, because I know what it's going to be. I just couldn't find a good time. But since she's splitting up from the group, she's going on her own, it would definitely be a much better time to do that. To help, and it will help develop character.
Yeah.
And perhaps, maybe, just maybe, push her on a positive character arc.
That's gonna have to be one fucking extensive arc, though, because she's...
Oh, yeah, she's done terrible things, and she's just... I feel like... Well, so, there's an interesting way we could go about it, because we've established that Athena has had many chances where she should have learned to do things differently and become a better person, but she just hasn't. She's refused. And I think that could be an interesting way. It could be a way of exploring why she refuses it. Because she refuses it so much.
Yeah.
So much. She's like, I cannot change.
You know, and it's funny too, because she'll start out saying like that she wants to do the right thing and all that, and even afterwards she'll be saying that, but she always ends up picking the worst option, or at least one of the worst.
Again, I will say Andrei gets into character perfectly.
Yeah,
just absolute, like, perfect, because like she was trying to be like, well, I didn't want to do the bad thing. I just wanted to burst out of the ice and leave. But no, you didn't, because you attacked Dacius willingly.
Yeah.
So, like, that is getting into character perfectly, because she's trying to justify things like Athena would, but just like Athena, she can't really do it because like there's no reason. But that will definitely be a really interesting confrontation once everyone meets up again.
I am planning on having, an interesting dialogue with the dwarves that may or may not, help us along.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I was because they all they practically worshipped Shiva, because like the old said, who I have to
name to. He like she pretty much provided for him, and I was going to have Shiva do like the backstory of like what happened, like how the palace was there in the first place. But honestly, I think it would be much better if the dwarves did. Like they could explain what, like why they followed like that, why they treated her pretty much like a god herself. But yeah, that would be cool. But I was thinking, because Dacius is still like, he was her fiance. He was very close to her. So since these dwarves were also close to her, it would make sense for them to give a helping hand. And also, like, Curtis is Dacius's buddy. And Lorenzo is also sort of Dacius's buddy now. But he's more like Curtis's, friends of a friend. And then Lane is Gander's bud now. So like we already have connection. Oh, I just thought of something even more interesting. I don't know if they do this, but it could be really interesting. Instead of having so I'm thinking about this. Instead of having the two sides of that, you got the capital kingdom, which is of humans, and then the elven kingdom. But the two additional sides, you have Athena and possibly any other ally she gains by herself. Ooh. And then you have us with the dwarves.
Oh.
A 4-way battle. It's really a it's not even like really a 4-way, because we have two sides on each, of each, who clearly want to fight each other, but it still would be interesting.
Yeah.
So man. I don't know. Guess we'll just have to see what happens. But like, because like literally anything could happen from here. Because I didn't plan on Athena leaving I was actually planning on Dacius leaving
Yeah, that's what I was planning on.
Because what I thought of after Athena killed Shiva in the fight, what I was thinking was somehow her and Ifrit would or like, not even that, but like Gander got there really late, so he didn't see her like kill the dwarves or attack Dacius or whatever. He would just see her fighting against Shiva. So whenever she kills Shiva, Dacius is obviously mad. He's obviously pissed off. I was thinking he would have like tried to attack Athena, and then Gander would have blocked it. and then he would have been like, "I'm sorry, Dacius, but I can't allow you to attack her." And then Dacius doesn't really like try to clarify like why he's trying to attack Athena, because filled with rage. Yes, he is like, he's been pretty good about being diplomatic and talking it out when he's angry, but I think in that situation where he was just learning to like again, dies right in front of him, he wouldn't be that calm. So instead of telling Gander, like, I attacked her because of this, she killed my fiance and all this stuff, he would just silently turn around and leave. And then that would have been another interesting split, because what I was going to do is I was going to leave it up to Xander and Tessa whose side they went with. But I think this went a lot more interesting, and I think it's a lot better because it gives Athena necessary time to finally have a redemption arc, or at least start it.
And it also gives me an idea with the dwarves.
Yes. And then there's going to be stuff about Lashana and especially Nigel coming. Because, again, the thing about Nigel, and something that Xander, I know, hasn't noticed, because when he asked if Nigel was still going to be important plot, is that Nigel literally is a living prism piece.
Yeah.
So his character literally is necessary.
You know what? I did just have a really cool idea.
What's that?
So you were talking about, I remember how you were saying that the architects, back when they still fucking existed, made a lot of weapons for other, races and shit.
Yes.
I thought it would be interesting if at some point Dacius tries his hand at making a weapon of some sort.
Oh.
He doesn't know. He's
right.
just yeah, it sounds like it'd be cool. And
maybe because he's been getting a lot of memories back. So maybe subconsciously the idea comes to him. Maybe they're talking with others, or maybe even later on. We're in a situation where we have to think of something to, I don't know, kill something or blow away something, and that thought pops into his head, and he doesn't know why, but he just kind of goes with it.
Yeah.
And then later it'll be revealed that, oh hey, they and I also realize, by the way, I do want to say another thing about Shiva, which this will come up later, but I just want to say it now because I do want to get your brain wheels a turning, even though I know you're most likely not going to figure it out. But when Shiva told Dacius, when he said, I lost, said, it's not your fault. That is the most, there is so much irony in that line. There is so much irony.
Yeah.
But I cannot go any more into it.
Yeah, I can definitely get some ideas from that, but yeah.
Cause I'm just gonna say the reason why he has amnesia is a very tragic reason.
Well, I mean, I was kind of, expecting, since he found a letter that's like, hey, you go fuck yourself. I mean, it didn't say oh, I gave you amnesia, but it's just you won't remember this. Suggesting that whoever wrote it would know.
Yes. So what are your thoughts on Margaret? Now that you know there is someone named Margaret who apparently knows of magic.
Knows of what?
Rune magic. Because Shiva said.
Yeah, and I did catch that, but I didn't know if rune magic were a thing that was originally pretty special, but over time became widespread.
Well, I will remind you, I did say that the architects used runes on their tech.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I was just thinking it's been a pretty long time, but
yeah, there will be some more stuff magic, but yes, rune magic is very, very old. Yeah, there's so much.
That did also give me an idea for that fucking caravan.
There's so many. Oh, and you gotta, and you still have to like go back to the forest and revive the two imps.
Yeah, but it did give me an idea for that
Which
caravan.
I did, like, the reason why I was like, when I saw Revivify, I didn't think of any like any creature off the top of my head that would work. But then I realized it would have worked. I think he was level 3 at the time. It would have worked on the imps if Gander was actually there, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
So it still wouldn't have. So I'm glad that I didn't accidentally have a character death that was ultimately meaningless because Gander could have revived them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very glad with how things. And no, he could not have revived Shiva.
Well, yeah, I didn't, think,
I'm-
because she's a fucking celestial.
Yeah, she's right.
I did just think, depending on what the resurrect spell is, I was thinking that either A, at some point that just comes up like, oh, I have this now, or B, Dacius looks for like a really skilled paladin or something. Because I am honestly at a loss as to how to revive them. Because the one skilled necromancer we got, wasn't willing. And even then, I was kind of worried that if he did, it would be a different sort of reviving, more akin to making them zombies or something.
Right, yeah.
Because it is necromancy. It's forbidden for a reason.
Right. So
But,
yeah, I mean, I also again, I didn't want to make it too easy.
Yeah.
Because like, if we just like, oh no, Dacius promised to revive people. There's the guy who can revive things right over there. And
Yeah.
made friends with him. Like, yeah, that's too easy. Because because Dacius, like the entire group has goals now, like multiple goals. Like Dacius, like it just hit me that one of his goals he can't do it.
Yeah, because one of his goals
one of his
goals was gonna be beating her in that tournament.
I didn't even know. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I was like, this could either be really emotional or really weird, but we couldn't do it anyways, where he would like take the smallest drop of water, put it into like a mug of Dragon Daniels, but everything's burnt down anyways. Man.
Well, remember his ring, because he has both of the rings. They have magic water in them.
Yeah.
So if he ever needs to use it for any reason, it's there. So that's another cool. Now Dacius has like special items, because like every character so far has some sort of special item of some sort. Like Lashana has her like translucent dagger. She also has her like puppet body, but at the same time that is also like not really a good thing because she can't use magic anymore, and it's also really flimsy. And by that I mean that's pretty much how I excuse whenever she can't play.
Yeah.
And then Nigel, even though he hasn't really shown it on yet, he's fused with the prism piece, so he has Yami's literal life force flowing through his body.
Man, it's just gonna be a question of he could, break.
Which I will say, one scene I did want but couldn't happen because Xander couldn't play, which I honestly think is better, is when Nigel would have walked into the palace and he would have like introduced himself to Shiva. She would have sensed Yami's presence in him, but she wouldn't really know what to make of it. But since that can't happen, it's still a mystery of like
what could happen to Nigel. Because the
Yeah.
others don't seem really concerned. Because, like, he's back. Like, yeah, sure, he does have parts of his body that look like that general, but I mean, he seems fine. Like, you know, nothing bad can come from that. But, yeah, there's definitely going to be stuff with him. There's definitely going to be stuff with Lashana, because the war is the next main goal. And, the elf side, because we're obviously going to go there because that does line up with Lashana's goal of killing her sister. I had a very interesting thing planned out for that.
You know, it was great because I was almost gonna have a scene where Dacius felt bad for Athena. Like, yeah, you're remembering some fucked up shit. You know, I can relate. Well, maybe not on the remembering part, but you know, you're seeing some fucked up shit that you know in your head, and you're pissed off. But then, you know, especially now, he's not going to be too
because
sympathetic.
Yeah, which again, I think this push was needed because again,
Yeah.
Athena has been such a terrible person, just so bad, but she hasn't done anything too bad for anyone to like say anything more than, and we should slap her because she's being stupid. But now it's at a time where like she's to Gander and Lashana, she's killed like a kind and innocent being that all these like dwarves looked up to, and they're buds with Leon. So,
Yeah.
So like, you know, they mainly feel bad for him, but still like they're still angry. And then especially Dacius, because he was just starting to remember Shiva.
And as soon as you know he's remembering, it's just bam.
And doesn't that go back to what happens last session? The wanted paper flew away. Dacius.
Yep.
The thing he had is now gone.
That's gonna be the running fucking theme, isn't it? Fucking
the things that we gain.
His fucking dwarf friend is gonna get like sliced in half or something.
Oh, dude, don't give me ideas.
God.
I mean, hey, roll again. Character choices and roles mainly dictate what happens. So in reality, while I could do everything in my power to try to kill them off if I really wanted to, if like the roles wouldn't allow it, you know, they could still live. So
That's a good thing too. Like I almost feel like with better roles, the fight might have gone a bit differently.
Oh yeah, I do want to say that Athena's health was pretty low. If she didn't escape, because she didn't heal. If you remember, she never healed this entire time. So like her health was very low. So yes, if we did roll better, things would have gone different.
Especially with that fucking Ray of Enfeeblement. I feel like that helped a lot.
Well, I mean, it's also because she chose to run away. Because it wasn't really that because Ifrit, when he like controlled her, which again she subconsciously allowed to happen, the spell he used, it did leave like attacks, but the reason he did it was to use a strong enough spell to break through the palace so they could get out.
Yeah.
And he did it through the ceiling because he knew that would be the best way to where like it wouldn't like hurt anything, or maybe like if he like shot at like the door, then like more ice would fall or something, so it wouldn't really have done anything. So yeah, and just the side effect of that was, more fireballs kept falling.
Yeah.
And, he set out his goal. And I also do just want to put out here another really interesting thing is, even though it was sort of out of malice a little bit, what Shiva said was definitely not wrong, that Ifrit is right. His ideology, and it goes back to the spirit, the Celestials as just beings, all their ideologies kind of align. However, it's their actions, like the way they view those ideologies, that differentiates. So, like, Ifrit believes that all mortals are bad. All mortals. The only mortal he believes isn't bad, or like isn't that bad, is Athena, and the only reason is because he's kind of stuck to her and he feels what she feels.
Yeah.
So he kind of has to agree with what she's doing. And then Shiva, she has been trying to understand mortals more. So she didn't view, like, at least the mortals she was around, which were the dwarves and the gnomes, as bad. But then, after seeing Athena, seeing what Athena has done, seeing how desperate Athena was to leave, just to leave, that's when Shiva finally went back to the original Celestial and said, "You're right. There are mortals that are so bad that we need to destroy them." And that's what she tried to do.
Yep.
It didn't go her way. Oh man, I did not notice, like, until we had this chat, how just literally devastating this death was. But it's good.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's such
I'm still like trying to wrap my head around the actual the actual intensity of a redemption arc that she would have to go to, because this isn't just Dacius. Like, these dwarves, all their lives revolved mainly around Shiva, and she was the one who gave them, that palace and all that shit. Like, that really nice living and everything, but now their home is just gone.
Yeah, it's just gone. And not only that, because if Shiva was still around, she could make another one.
Yeah.
Like, in theory, but she's not.
Yeah.
So, she will definitely have to, so here's, I honestly don't think she will ultimately be able to redeem herself. There's two ways I can think of redeeming herself, which would, it, depending on how you look at it, it still wouldn't really fix everything, but it would at least show how dedicated she is to getting better. Those things being her sacrificing herself for somebody, which she has never done.
Yeah.
Or if the final fight is with Yami, she fights Yami. Because if Yami is released, this is the dragon that literally causes the apocalypse. Possibly from just existing on the same plane.
Something interesting that I did just think about, and this does seem, it's incredibly obvious, but I've never actually thought about it. Like, all of our characters just die, Like at least in Gander's timeline, like they're dead.
Yes.
And it seems obvious, but again, I just never thought about it. Like, oh yeah, the world ends. Great, that's just the bad ending. But like, no, that's the end of our characters as well.
Yep. Yeah,
But-
that is an interesting to think about, and like another thing to think about is like Gander has never heard of any of them. Meaning, even if they even if they did have some like heroic final stand against the dragon, either like no one was like the dragon's attacks made it so there was literally no one left to chronicle the story, or the battle was over so quick that no one even knew it happened.
Yeah.
Or they died even before like Yami was actually released, because there were plenty of moments where like all of them could have died. And if we think back to those moments, a good bit of them, Gander was kind of a key part in the characters surviving that.
Yeah.
So with him not there, that definitely does change the outcomes. I'm definitely not be like, oh well, this is not gonna make up like all the fates of the characters in the alternate timeline.
Well,
if
you know,
if you,
and
I
like,
mean, if you want to, I'm cool if you guys make up, like if you want to be like, oh, at this point in the story, this is where this character dies. And when they fought Bordred, Nigel didn't come back because he wasn't trying to change fate, so he was just purely dead there.
You know, the interesting thing is though is if Gander didn't show up in that specific place, then none of them would have gone with him. In fact, originally they weren't. Originally, you know, Dacius was just like, yeah, I'll take you to the next town over, you know, drop all you guys off, and then I'll go continue and do something else. But it's just all the shit that happened in between.
I mean, okay, so like of course events are going to be different, but it was really Nigel getting poisoned.
Well, yeah, but I mean like the whole thing of him sticking with the party, like, is because
Right.
over time he started to believe Gander a bit more. All that time and all the shit they went through.
Yes, it's definitely clear that that Dacius wouldn't have as much of a reason. However, it really wasn't until I think like Bordred killed Nigel that Dacius really thought he even had a stake in this whole future war, considering that the Dragon Cult is presumed to be the ones behind the apocalypse. So, and at that point, they were with Mariella, and Mariella gave Dacius some insight that she knows things, and she wants to tell them to him, but this just isn't a good time to do that. So, in the alternate timeline, you could make a case that the reason Dacius stuck around is because he met Mariella, and he wanted to find out more, he wanted to find out what she had to tell him, and traveling with these guys has worked so far in finding stuff he's never, known about, so might as well just keep going with them. However, this if this whole Athena killed Shiva thing happened in that alternate timeline, I do wonder what happened afterwards.
But I definitely think, in whatever.
maybe that's why all the characters are dead. Maybe
Yeah.
it was a final battle between Athena merged with Ifrit, and then like the rest of the party and the dwarves.
But in the next session, there might be some rallying.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not even gonna like try to hide that. Oh yeah. There's gonna be some rallying.
And I think
and I have a very interesting thing for planned for Athena. A very, very interesting.
I am kind of excited to see, because like I don't think we're just going to forget about her. I think that
No.
things are still going to I know things are still going to fucking happen. So I'm interested to see what like the things she does on her own.
Cause yeah, that is another thing, because she's throughout this whole thing we've never really seen on her own. And it's even implied at the very beginning, the fact that she hitched a ride with Dacius, that she isn't good with being alone. She's not good with doing things by herself. And she does technically have Ifrit there, but he's hurt, so he can't really do much.
And he's also not the best fucking influence.
Right. So that will, and of course, like the whole anger thing towards Dacius and the palace and everything was also partially him. But again, it wasn't just him. It was Athena allowing it to happen.
Yeah.
But very good talk. Excellent freaking session. I gave everyone another inspiration point, because that was just so good. Sadly, except for Nigel, but he already has 5, so he's doing good. Hopefully Xander can show up again, because I do have things for him to do, and maybe soon a new member of something appear.
Yeah. Another thing too is I do think you very much know the reason that Dacius didn't really want to go to the capital.
Yes.
And honestly, at this point, I don't think that whole thing is ever going to happen or even be brought up. But, maybe.
There's definitely a lot. See, so the interesting thing about Dacius is that I've noticed is like, because he's been around for a long time. He's done crap ton of stuff. So people could argue Dacius has done like way too much and his character is way more important. On the other hand, nothing he's done has been important. Because if it was important, then it would be like he would know about him.
Yeah, because I mean, he's taken down a member of the Shadow Troop, but who fucking cares?
Yeah, like they don't, like, to most people, the Shadow Troop doesn't, like, they don't even know what that is.
To most people, who cares? He's been all over the world. What has he done?
Yeah, like he hasn't done anything. Sure, he's become the fiancé to a Celestial, but as far as he knows, the Celestial has been here at this palace for like millennia, multiple millennia. So like, even if somebody for like some reason came to the palace, talked to Shiva, and she brought Dacius up, that person would be dead by now.
Yeah. Well, even then, like, what are they gonna care? Like, I mean,
okay. So the spirit thing's got a husband. That's cool, I guess.
Yeah, like that's not gonna, seem like a whole lot, but
I am very, because next session not only do we have like the rallying thing, we have Athena's solo adventure, but Dacius made a promise that he would break down and he would tell them about his fate. And that's
you mean
really
Gander, right?
Yeah, Gander, sorry. I keep mixing I don't know why. But like that will just pour more salt into the bitter wound.
Yeah. I think you could almost make a point like why hasn't Dacius broken down yet? Because he just had a revelation. Because this is the first time he's because Mariella was like, oh yeah, you have a race, but he was just thinking like she's probably just trying to use logic or something,
Yeah.
But this is the first time like he has been told, he's been served, and by a person that he was going to get married to, who is now dead.
Yeah, and you like even though they didn't really know each other again for very long, like you could tell that Dacius was liking Shiva.
Yeah.
Like he could understand. He doesn't know the circumstances, but he could definitely understand why he would choose to marry someone like that.
But I think ultimately there are a couple reasons why he hasn't broken down. One, well, because he's got so many. There's so much shit that I don't even think the idea of breaking down has crossed his mind quite yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say like he's like yes, he's had he's like gotten very close, but I do feel like he has somewhat grown numb to it.
Yeah, but also these emotions, because he'll usually put a lot of things onto himself, but this time especially he knows there are things that he's got to do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, more people are going to get hurt.
Yeah. I do think like just at one point, it doesn't really matter what else happens. I do think at one point, like mentally, he just can't take it, and he does break down.
Oh
like,
yeah.
I don't know exactly what the circumstances are, and to be honest, they don't really have to be anything that important at this point with all he's been through. All it would really take is just one pause to reflect on everything that he's learned about and everything that's happened.
And especially because he's about to have another revelation.
Yeah, that Gander, this dude that he has become friends with and who turned against the girl that he swore to be a bodyguard to pretty much protect him, can't live. He can't. There is nothing, at least, and you said Dacius will probably try to find some way.
And his reasoning behind that isn't even just because Gander will die, but also because he'll forget him.
Yeah, that is the bigger thing. It's like, sure, his best friend dying and not being able to be brought back. That's one thing that, yes, it will hurt a lot. He might break down from that, but that will be okay because at least, he'll have the memories. Not this time.
Yeah.
Not this. And, that kind of goes for Shiva as well. He gained a little bit of memories, but he still never truly got to know her, which I think that would make, if he does try to reflect on, I feel like on the next session, after, maybe after they're just trekking, they're flying on the dragon or just walking about, Dacius would have a moment to just think, and he'd be like, not only am I going to lose one of my new, best friends who try to protect me in life and in memory, but I just lost someone who loved me dearly that I can't even remember.
Yeah.
I never got to know why she loved me and I think that would be the point where he just can't.
But who knows? Maybe it'll be a whole arc where it's like somebody will catch on, and they're just gonna be like, "But what about this thing we need to do?"
To be really, like, to be honest, anything could happen, because like Athena's whole negative arc has gone on for way longer than I think any of us could have anticipated.
Yeah.
Which I like. I mean, yeah, it does get a little annoying, I will say, because there are moments where you think like she should at least show a little bit of growth, just a little bit. Like maybe instead of opening her mouth for the 10 millionth time, she just keeps it shut. She just keeps it shut, lets the sad moment go by, and there we go. She hasn't, but on the other hand, it is a really good negative.
Yeah.
I think she can't get any lower than this unless she just goes full on genocide.
Yeah, I was about to say, and I did sort of hint to that's what Dacius is thinking. Like, yeah, she's gonna go. She's burned down this place. What do you think she's gonna go when she gets to the capital?
Right, and that's an interesting, like, now the characters actually do have a reason to go to the capital, because before it was really just because Athena ordered them to. Like, they didn't really have any other clear goal, a clear place to go. Like, yeah, they didn't, they know they need to stop the dragon cult and that stuff, but like they didn't really know how to do that. So Athena was pretty much, okay, we're going to the capital because there's going to be a war. But none of the characters really have a stake in that. I mean, yeah, Lashana does, but she doesn't really care about that. She more cares, I want to kill my sister, so if that affects them, I guess. But like, I just want to kill my sister, which again, I have a really interesting. But
I think though what Dacius is going to do, and of course this could very well change, but I think what Dacius is going to do is he's going to rally, all of the dwarves and shit, and he's going to say like, yeah, we need to go to the capital for this and this, but first we need to go to this place, and I'm thinking that place will be Concord. Mainly because these dwarves, they don't fucking have a home anymore. But
yeah,
also because, well, now everyone's fucking really short on supplies.
Yeah, and that would be a good way for them to, because they still gotta go back to the adventurers.
They're gonna go into the fucking Adventurers Guild. They're gonna stride in with this fucking army of dwarves behind them.
They like the lady behind the counter. I can't remember her name. I gave her a name. I just can't remember. But like she, like as each dwarf comes in, she gets more flustered to the point where like they all like swarm the bar, and then Daisy just walks up to the counter, and she can't even like bring herself to like ask him like like what do you want.
I'm kind of wondering how the other party would react to that though, because like at this point we've been gone for a long ass time, right?
Yes, we've been we've been gone for, I would say, possibly,
like
if we count like when we left Mauru and we flew over to the mountain, the Garnell Mountain. If we count that night, it's been like, I don't know, like a day and a half.
Well, that and Dacius slept after the tournament.
Yeah, so I like how we're calling it a tournament when the only reason I called it that was a joke. Like tournament arcs always have like the training beforehand.
Yeah, but
I do think like he should, like, as a just personal goal to keep Shiva in memory. I think he should still kind of go on that quest to be able to outdrink her,
Yeah.
but he can't actually prove to her that he can outdrink her, but he's still going to go around and try to like drink more and more. And that could be where like the other party members are kind of having like, they're kind of like bringing up like, okay, you're drinking way too much, man. That's a problem because you said you kind of wanted that to happen, and this could be the reason. Because on one hand, it is kind of because he is kind of drowning his sorrows, but on the other hand, it is a way for him to express that he is like he's keeping Shiva's memory alive.
Yeah.
So it's a problem, but it's also like it's the only thing he can think of. It's the only he has the rings, but besides that, he needs more rings.
Yeah. But man, I'm just thinking like the fucking other group. They're gonna see us. We're gonna walk into the fucking town.
I will say I was planning when we got back there to the Adventurers Guild, they would have a surprise, and we stride in, and they do like they hop out. And they're surprise. And then Sigmund's just like, I think they're the ones who surprised us.
So there's someone who's gonna go burn down the Capitol, Surprise!
Oh wow, now that maybe that could be a way to rally the other party.
Yeah, because I was thinking,
Oh, now that could be like it goes into like that 4-way war thing. Athena's off on her own, maybe finding new people and gaining them on her side, and we're going back to all our other places and recruiting friends that we've met along the way, and then we'll get there like in the middle of the war, and then there's each faction, Athena's, ours, the humans, and the elves.
God.
We have to stop Athena from murdering all 3 sides, but then we also have to try to make sure that the elves and the humans don't kill each other.
Yeah.
On the war arc. You know how many arcs we've had in this freaking D&D?
Well, you know what? That's what makes an interesting story.
Like this story is by far like definitely in my top 5 D&D like role play stories I've made. Would I say it's number 1? It's definitely high up on that top. I don't know if I'd still say I don't know if I would say it's my number 1. I've done some pretty good stories that are not finished yet.
You'll never know till the end.
Right. Yeah, but again, this is definitely up there. I think while it might not be my number 1 favorite, again, I don't it is definitely my number 1 quality-wise. I think this is the best story I have made, maybe period. Like, this is really the first time I've done serious world building and having a bunch of NPCs. Because in my other role play stories, I have NPCs. I have a good bit of NPCs, but it's different because they're not all in this style. Like the party isn't as big. There aren't as many main characters to focus on, so there's more side characters to help with that. But we have a full party. All of them have arcs that they're going to go on, and then there's all these side characters also have their own stuff going on.
Yeah.
None of these NPCs have really lived
to help, like to just be there for characters. They've all have their own lives and things, which is
Yeah.
again like the first time I've really done that.
Well, I'm gonna get off mainly
Yes.
because I've had to pee for like ever.
All right. Well then,
So-
I don't know when we're gonna have the next session because knowing Audrey, she's gonna say, "Can we play tomorrow?" Or when it's tomorrow, can we play today? So,
Yeah.
so I mean, I don't know, but whenever we do play again. Also, I just want to bring up, can you believe this is our, I think it's our 14th session?
Yeah, I was kind of worried, whenever we first started that we weren't going to be, because the thing is if we don't finish it by like the end of, summer, then it's going to slow to a crawl.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for me because I don't really have any way to play while I'm up at school, so it'd only be on weekends.
Right.
And, not everyone's going to be free every single weekend. So it would slow shit to a crawl, which, on the one hand, I don't like the idea of, wearing people out, or the main reason that I don't sit here and go like, hey, can we play tomorrow? Because, I know sometimes people might want a break. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I am glad that we play, basically whenever we can.
Yes, because there is just so much to this story, and I have like I might make things go a tad quicker, which yes is not what I would like to do. It's not what and it would kind of lessen the story a little bit, but it would be so we could hopefully finish it before summer ends. Because D&D campaigns can go on for a long time. They can go on for literal years. And while on the surface that would be really nice if we could like have it be that way, we're all going to have like different things coming up. We're all not going to have the same amount of time. So I might quicken the pace, or if I don't quicken the pace, I'm going to kind of slice off chunks of the end game. Because pretty much I know somewhat how like the finale of things is going to be, but like a lot of the middle I don't really know. So instead of having a lot of chunks of the middle that I'm just kind of going with the flow with, I'll cut those off so we get to the ending a little faster.
Ultimately, there are two ways the game ends, and maybe one mystery way the game ends. But either A, we win, or we lose.
Yep.
Or A, we win, B, we lose.
Yep, that's pretty much like the long and short of it. So like, yeah, I think so I can make sure that we do finish it, because I mean, again, we have been playing it for a while, so I might shorten it. Or another thing I could do, because so remember how I said I'm very, very like super loosely basing it off of two pre-made adventure books I have, because it's pretty much just the dragon cult plot, and like pretty much just the dragon cult existing. Well, it's those books are split into two. The story, the first book is about you going after the cult, and then the second book is if the cult succeeds in reviving Tiamat, and then like your characters have to go through like Tiamat's like apocalypse type thing. I mean, I didn't really like read through that, so I don't really know if like the entire area is apocalyptic or not. But if push comes to shove, we could get to the point where Yami may or may not be revived. And if we can't stop him from being revived, maybe we can end it there, and then we can have like a whole other, like, make it a whole other campaign where we take off from that, and we have like our characters going around to the greater kingdoms trying to find some way to stop Yami.
Man.
So if push comes to shove, because that would probably be the best way to handle it. That way I don't have to rush things, so it kind of, lessens the sessions.
We will see how it goes, because, I mean, of course, right now, it seems like it's going slow, because right now, our current goal doesn't even involve the Dragon Cult. Like, that's the overarching goal, but right now, our characters, they're thinking a bunch of different things, most of them centering around Athena.
Right. And I wouldn't say it's, I wouldn't say it's going slow. I would say it's going the right pace.
Well, I'm saying
problem,
it seems like it's going slow.
Yeah,
because
because because there's just a lot to it. There's a lot to this campaign. There's a lot of factions and goals.
I think we should see how it goes for the next couple of sessions.
Yeah, we'll see how far things progress.
Because we still do have a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's just not an infinite amount.
Yeah, because like it just turned July. Like we do have a lot of time, and if we do play like 2 or 3 times this week, then we'll have we should have like a good estimate of how long it'll take before some other major stuff happens. And if things do take longer than expected, we can talk about either quickening the pace or having maybe like ending the story at a certain arc before the true final one, and then picking up from there some other time. Maybe for now, how about this? For now, let's say that the war will be the final arc for this part 1 of the campaign.
But depending on how fast it goes.
Yes, depending on how fast it goes, that could change. But for now, to say that it is, it will be the war.
Well, anyways, in the next
session, whenever that is.
All right.
Yep. See ya, Hunter.